Should work. Let me check the YouTube channel. Okay. Right. It does appear that we are indeed live. Happy days. Welcome in. Right. So everyone who is not watching it live, but watching it in pre-recorded, hello, welcome. I'm Pointy Pint. I am going to be joined by my fellow teammate of Team Island, Kieran, and his Dirty Dwarfs. We're going to go through all the lists for all of the teams, and we're going to show you all of the absolute filth that is going to be getting thrown out very shortly. But anyway, here is Kieran.
We can try it again if you want to try the name again. Do one more go?
No, because it's all weird letters and I can't read.
Cian.
Yes. Well, I'm English on an Irish team, so leave me alone.
To be fair, I think everyone who said the name on any YouTube channel has always got it wrong, so don't worry too much. Don't worry too much.
Sapper boy. There you go.
Sapper. Just a filthy sap. That's it. To be fair, they are very tasty, so I'm thoroughly enjoying them.
Yeah, there are some really, really good lists. There's some. We know we got an FAQ in the summer, and for any Cathay players out there, I'm just going to apologise now because the nerfs that we are going to get is because of Team England. But we'll get onto that very shortly. Right, so let's jump in. So we've got the lists. We'll jump on with us first. Nice Team Island. So we'll start with Paddy, our illustrious captain. Because his list is very short and sweet.
I love Paddy's list. I think it speaks for the man in how he's decided to play this army, because he had a lot of options, going into it. He played around with a load of different things, and ultimately he just said, "It's full send summer. Let's just get straight in there, break necks, and just have a good time." So fully love this list.
His dragons are pretty much nicknamed Neo because they dodge cannonballs. They really do. I had a lot of fun playing this. It was really quite good fun.
It's a really fun list. Obviously, there's things that it just is going to have a terrible time against. There's stuff out there, like X-Force is a perfect example. It's just something that this list isn't going to really work against unless he gets lucky with Terror. If Terror procs and Terror does well, then this list is just terrifying into most stuff. But if he can't get the Terror rolls out, if it's just not getting into the combats, it's just going to get picked apart. So it's a great list. I think it's going to be a very good team list because there's stuff that it'll just go into and beat the living shit out of. There's nothing the opponent can really do about it,
Yeah, you don't really see very much Monster Mash now. Not with 4 big monsters.
I think Cathay drove away a lot of the Monster Mash early on, and I don't think people have fully recovered into coming back into it. And with infantry being quite good, there's kind of no real need to go so aggressive into Monster Mash. But it is still decent. Output's high, lots of stomp. Now, the anti-stomp banner is a big issue for him. But I suppose because the game mode, so for those who don't know, the Six Nations game mode is going to be 3 strategic locations and baggage carts. That's it. It's never changing. So you don't have to think about domination. You don't have to think about worrying about 4 strategic locations. There is only ever going to be 3. So Paddy's list makes sense in that world because he has a big block that can hold 1 objective, a small fast block that could get in and take a 2nd objective, and then after that, he's just smashing everything else with his big, greasy monsters. So he's going to keep the scoring down low if he can and just keep hitting stuff off. I think it's a great list. I'm looking forward to seeing him play it.
Yeah. Well, being on a slightly tweaked version of this, it's actually quite nice to see his final rendition.
Yeah, I played him with a very different version that didn't rely as much on monsters. He only had 1 large, gigantic spawn of chaos and a warpfire dragon.
Yeah.
And that list just couldn't deal with X-Force. Even though it was a lot more infantry-based, it just couldn't deal with the X-Force directly. So he was having a bit of trouble with me. So I think he's kind of done the correct thing here, which is said double down into it and just take the things that this list is good at, which is breaking the necks of the opponent team. So just get in there, break the necks of their models, have a good time.
So speaking of X-Force, here's yours. Absolute shenanigans.
It is a bit of a shenanigans list. I've actually really enjoyed it. So this list kind of came around because I had a chat with Richie from Dire After Dark. We were talking for a little bit about sappers, the role of sappers, what we're kind of doing with them. And the big conversation points that came around was that concussion guns are really fun. And I didn't buy in at all. When he said concussion guns, I was like, really? Like, you're going into things with veteran and things with high leadership. Are they actually going to be that good? Yeah, they're that good. I took 2 of them, tried them out, loved it. I've had so much fun. My highlight has definitely got to be Pegasus with veterans failing their leadership twice in a row and just sitting directly in front of an organ gun for 2 turns. Made me feel so good.
It's horrible. Like being on the other side of it was just not nice.
They're a little unreliable, but when they proc, like they are not that expensive. You're looking at 30 points per concussion gun. So the gun isn't that expensive to take, and they have the engineers to spare who are BS 5 anyway, so hitting on 2s.
Yeah. Concussion gun's the one that puts stupidity on things.
Stupidity,
isn't it? Yeah, that was annoying.
I call them dum-dum guns. They're very, very good.
But it's a very nice list. You're going to there's a general theme throughout the teams when it comes to sort of X-Force and certain lists. You'll kind of see it for anyone who is interested in how Team Warhammer works. I will be having a chat tomorrow with Pash, and he'll be going into more detail about the WTC and how team formats work and all of that stuff. So if you are new to competitive Warhammer, then obviously that's going to be a good one for you to look forward to.
So it was funny talking to Richie about Pash's review there, because he was saying that he didn't see much damage coming from the dwarf teams, and he's not wrong. There isn't huge amounts of damage in most of these lists, but they're very effective damage. The big thing I think he's missed is that all of the dwarf teams are very MR resistant. So magic resistance is good. Most of them have the Master Rune of Calm.
Yeah.
Because there's so much zap lists in the meta currently, at least in Six Nations, that's very good. Like, I think there's a nice set of counters in there for dwarf teams to just turn off magic missile based lists. So things like, Beastmen, or if you're going into what is a Sea Wolves list, I think that's quite magic missile dependent. And these kind of lists are going to be very effective against them purely because they disable the amount of output that you're going to see from magic missiles. So that's quite an interesting thing that I don't think was really caught by Pash's review. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Who knows if it'll work, because magic is kind of flippy. Dice are good, then magic just goes off. Dice are bad. Oh, well.
I've learned try not to rely on it.
Yeah, it's like artillery. You can overindulge in artillery. Like, I took 6 cannons for the shits and giggles. It was mostly shits. A few giggles, mostly shits.
Well, we'll go on to mine, because my list is very it's very similar to a lot of the Cathay lists that are going to be taken, but mine's not as Shigengan heavy. But one of the mainstays is I've kind of tried to get like a list that can hold the ground, take its objectives, at least hold 2 objectives. Because obviously, if you're going into a lot of Shigengans and a lot of balloons and cannons, you're not really having that much core, and we're going to need to sort of take things. So my idea was to kind of have sort of tooled up and 3 cannons, because enjoy it while it lasts, because the only way you're going to get 3 cannons from this point on is to run Jade Fleet. So after, and we're not using the new Buck and the new Grand Army, because that's obviously released this weekend, which is after list submission. So I didn't really have to worry about the cannons being reduced somewhat. So, but yeah, I think for me the biggest logistical problem has been working out how to get that balloon to Scotland.
Yeah, just carry it in your lap like your child.
I've literally had to buy a brand new carry case purely just to get that thing in. And
to be honest, I'm not in much better shape, because I've been getting a bit too adventurous with my modeling when it came to metal gyrocopters, and I've done stupid things like this now, just all metal. I don't know how I'm going to get it over. So just figure that out.
Good. Maybe
I might also be carrying a little baby sack with all my entire helicopters in it.
We should maybe drive to Wales for Home Nations.
I'd have to drive like 4 hours into Northern Ireland first, and then over again. It would be a nightmare. but maybe go down south, go to the port there.
I think that's a longer ferry though. So yeah, it's a pretty standard list.
So what I like about your list is it's very flexible. We talk about the Shug lists, and the Shug lists do something very specific. They get in there, they just try to smash stuff up with Spectral Doppelganger and everything else. I think, as you're seeing in your list here, it's a much more flexible list. It's not overly reliant into one specific build, and that's quite good in my opinion, especially in team games where you might not get the pairings you really want. It could give you the advantage having the flexibility to kind of lean in one way or the other.
It wasn't entirely into like one thing. It was kind of, which was kind of handy, and it did really well. I took basically a 2,000 point version of this to a 3-day event and won that. Or 1-day event and won it. And I've got a GT list, which is kind of for the 2-day in April, which is kind of building off this. So it seems to be quite good. But yes, Virus, that case, I got it off Amazon. It's about 40 odd quid. You'll know which one it is because it'll have a massive big foam tray with a plastic Horus Heresy fell blade in it. And that was the perfect size to put the balloon in it. But yeah, it's a good case. So we've done me, we've done you, we've done Paddy. Dave and his Tomb Kings.
Yeah, Dave. Me and Dave have played so many games now. Now, not a huge amount with his Tomb Kings. I think I've only played his Tomb Kings twice, but I've played into him a lot lately because we were practicing a lot of different things, trying to figure things out. I basically built the backbone of my X-Force list through games played against Dave, just because it gave me the understanding of what I wanted it to do.
Oh, well, this list was this list was the one that basically killed my idea of the list I was going to bring.
This list also killed an idea I had. I had a fleeting notion of madness because Stuart keeps suggesting playing for mid. You know, he's like, "What if we just try draw every game? What if we just do that every game?" And then, like, you know, the best we could do is come mid tier. It's like that's a weird mentality, but I kind of like it because if it works and if you could do it easily, it would be really funny. Even take 4 players who are just playing for mid, and then 4 players who are aggressing. Then you could just stick 4 players into bad matchups and then get your best matchups for your best 4.
Definitely.
Really lean out the game in the team side, you know. But
one thing that scares me about this list is those 14 Ashabdi.
I think there's 19 Shabti in one list, isn't there? There's a lot of Shabti on the field.
But they're really good.
They are really good. Like, there's
really
no reason, like I had said to Dave, the one thing I think that could have been really good in this list is to have a unit of swarms to give a front line to the Shabti. So the big thing with the swarms is they don't count for line of sight blocking. So the Ushabti feel like monstrous shooters, which they look like they are. So I think in his mind, he was kind of like, oh, but they're so tall, they can see over stuff. It's like, they can't really. You need something like swarms underneath them. So positioning, he's got to be very clean on where he puts the shoot Shabti to get the most value. And anyone who's taking shoot Shabti has to be the same because they can't see over their own infantry. So
definitely.
That's a limitation on the shoot Shabti into factions that don't have monstrous or large targets. Because you can't see what you really want to hit unless you're on a hill, or if you can get good gaps in your infantry blocks. And if you're playing Tomb Kings, you've got a lot of infantry.
Yeah. Well, he's got elementalism, he's got illusion.
He has tools to deal with it, just about how you do it. And every Tomb Kings list has this kind of problem to deal with. How do you ensure that you've got good line of sight from the shoot Shabti while still protecting them from being just lifted off the board by a dragon?
I just know that those Tomb Guard are very hard to shift.
Oh, they're awful. I threw Longbeards at them in a test game just to see if a Royal Clan's denial list could work. And I just couldn't break them. Now, I got a little unlucky in my very first charge, which I was 5 inches away. I only needed a 2 on dice. Didn't get it. Got 2 ones. And that kind of denied me out that game. I might have been able to beat them if I'd gotten that roll. But losing that really hurt. And going forward for him, then he just kept regenning them. And I just couldn't get through, you know. So they're fantastic. They're really hard to get through. Tomb Guard and Graveguard, they have such a good place in the game as being regeneration core that just stay. Like, they're very, very solid.
What really irritates me playing against them is the fact that you do so much damage into them and you feel really good about it. And then at their turn, they just start doing leadership checks and you're like, I can't stop this.
I have no interaction.
I can't stop this. This is just not fair. It's like playing Age of Sigmar again. But then we got Kev's Beastman.
Also a really fun list. I played against this one too, just before he kind of settled into it. Now, he had some trouble because the original pack had written in it that if you take named characters, they don't count against your character choices.
It did indeed.
And that was superfluous text. Everyone knows this. So it got removed, and no one caught it on our side because there was a changelog that said remove the superfluous text around named characters. We just assumed that there was some like fluffy text that no one really read into, you know, like something that wasn't relevant. No, it was actually that you can't do that anymore. They fully got rid of it. So he had to make a bit of a shift. I know he lost one Great Ray Shaman on a chariot that he was taking. That, you know, it's the extra Vile Tide, it's the extra shooting magic. So it's a shame to lose it, but he still has quite a lot. Like, you see the Beastman list? This is a very solid standard Beastman list. Like, it has lots of output. It's got lots of terror checks it can run with the good gigantic spawn. It's got decent objective holding. So I think it's a good list. Like, if I was to say there's anything in it I'm not mad about, I kind of wish the Ungar herds were just a tiny bit bigger. like 13 each. Purely just because if you can get them into an objective, then it takes 4 of them dead to get them off it. That's not a bad thing. Like even with really good shooting, if you're only getting like 10 guys shooting and you're hitting on 4s, winning on 4s, there's a good chance you're not going to get 4 kills out of that. So if you had that extra 4 guy to keep them there, 3 kills is common, 4 kills is unlikely. It just means that they're there for one more turn of scoring. And if they're only worth, 50 points, 55 points, every turn that they're there is 30 points they're getting back. So it's quite good for value.
And I'm pretty standard. I think pretty much nearly every list has got the Monster Hunters Tapestry in there as well.
Yeah, I think so. Again, like we were talking about Paddy earlier, and that's the concern he has now is he's got to deal with No Fly and Monster Hunter Tapestry that every list is looking at taking.
Yeah,
so, except for the dwarf lists, of course, because
I don't. I've got flies allowed, but monsters are not.
Yeah.
And then we've got Aaron with his Chaos Dwarfs, the only Chaos Dwarf player in the village, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, like Chaos Dwarfs are great. Now, like, Aaron's lucky because he's got such a great backlog of armies to pick from. Like he went through a lot of decisions. Like he was looking at Bretonia for a while. He was looking at all sorts of different things. And Chaos Dwarfs the ones he felt he enjoyed playing the most.
Yeah, I played this at the one day or a version of this, and it was horrible. Those toughness 7 iron demon thing, I just couldn't do anything to them. And that was I was testing out using the Iron Hail guns on the balloon, and basically was just like, this thing's useless, absolutely useless. There's no point in me even firing at you. I might as well just fly around and just be annoying. But yeah, it's a really solid, scary list when it comes at you. Yeah, and I think that it's a piece of tech that people didn't really click into or cop onto. I thought we'd see it in an Empire list here or there. But the Iron Demons disabling Entrenched is huge as a counter list. So these guys have got a really nice bit of counter tech because they're already T7, which, things like X-Force, their cannons are only strength 8. So you're looking for 3s to wound, which isn't brilliant anyway. Only D3 damage, it's not that good either. So they're not good at dealing with this Chaos Demon list at all because it's going to use its Iron Demons to just disable Entrenched. Yeah, and that's going to be really bad because we don't have any anti-stomp stuff. We don't have anything to help us out there. So if the monsters, cavalry, chariot things come in and just go straight through the unit, there's nothing they can do about it. So I think there's nice tech in this list. And as you say, there's a lot of Black Orcs in there. There's a lot of Hobgoblins, there's Infernal Guard, Black Orcs, and Hobgoblins. There's plenty of good scoring core. I'm not really sure how easy a X-Force list would do killing the 20 Infernal Guard just with all their armor. They're very tough. I think it took me 2 Shigengans to hit them.
Yeah. And that's what's spec'd off on both going off, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I got doppel on both of them, but yeah.
They've got MR built in as well, don't they? Are they MR2 or are they just MR1?
I think they're MR1.
If their Sorcerer goes in, they might be MR2, but I think he stays out on the horse or the Baled horse going around.
But they were really, really hard.
Yeah.
But they're a solid unit.
Solid block of boys.
They really are.
I love this list too. As a dwarf player, I love a good dwarf list, even if it's Chaos Dwarves. And I think this one has lots of fun bits to it. You got loads of T7, you got loads of nasty looking Skullcracker guys coming in. I know he wanted more Hobgoblins, and at one point had a notion of taking 60 Hobgoblins, and just ultimately didn't have the models to do it, and common sense kind of prevailed.
But he does now.
He does now, yeah. Now, maybe next time we're doing the Northern Irish GT, he might show up with a load of Hobgoblins.
And then to round it out, we got Stuart with his Vampire Counts.
So Stuart, I was the captain on the Irish team last year, and Stuart was our MVP. So he got into every game, and he basically, I think he was 16-4 was his lowest score. Yeah. 16-4 or 15-5. He was very high scorer across the weekend. So Stuart was one of our players who we really wanted to get into good matchups. And he went into a few tricky ones. There was a Royal Clan list he went in against, and we were a bit concerned because MR on that was quite high. But he just was very effective with his list. He knows how to work it. I've played Stuart plenty. He's a very, very good player. I think this is a great list. There is things it could struggle into, but overall it's a real mainstay. Every team has brought Vampire Counts. There's 6 Vampire Count lists across the 6 teams. So it's one of those lists that we have to have. This, I think, is a very good example of it. The main difference between this list and a lot of them is this one doesn't have as many Mortis engines. So there's a lot of lists that have 2 mortis engines. This one only has the 1. So that's the main difference you'd see between this list and a few of the others. Doesn't have a star zombie dragon though, and that was a wild choice. So I love the zombie dragon. It's so good to see one out. Like, I'm looking forward. I hope he's bought the Prince of Ordrai, the Age of Sigmar one. Such a nice model. I'd love to see that one in person.
I'd like to get back into AOS, but I do love my vampires, and that model needs to be painted.
Vampires were the first army I played in AOS. Big fan of the undead. My first army when I was a kid was the 4th edition undead book. Just the armies of undead. It's such a great book. So I've been a big fan of them for years. When I got into AOS, I got straight into Soulblight. I said, I don't care about everything else. I want to do Soulblight specifically. So when they finally announced Soulblight as a whole faction, I was delighted. But yeah, like you, it's not a game I play much anymore. I just don't find the rules that engaging. So
yeah, it's. I think for me, it's just that there's no faction in the game that really pulls me in, like Old World does with the Cathay and my soon-to-be Nausicaa army. But it's a fun game. I enjoy it. But
like, I really liked the game mode when it first came out, and like I loved AOS 1, 2, and it was okay with 3. Wasn't mad about 3. I think the best Age of Sigmar was actually 1.5 and into 2, just before they released the Sacrosanct Chambers and everything else like that. And they did the what was that called? Malign Portents release. That was class. That was really, really good.
Yeah, so it was good.
That's Team Ireland. So overall, like, we didn't do we didn't do the High Elf, Dave Wade's High Elves.
We didn't. We miss Dave. He'll shout at me now.
He will.
Where is he?
Very shouty man.
He is a very shouty man. Dave with his High Elves, and like, I've known Dave for a long time, and I think he's played High Elves for as long as I've known him. So yeah, he's pretty adept at throwing these things around.
Yeah, so here's another one that Pash was saying he doesn't rate the Phoenix Guard very much. I do agree the element that they don't count as core really hurts them.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of fit the same bill as Hammerers for me, in that Hammerers aren't core in any build, and even as they're not core, I'm still tempted to take them because their output's very, very good. So with the Phoenix Guard, I'm still thinking their output is very good. They can really kill a lot of things. They're quite an effective unit. And with the Elven Spearmen supporting, they can win big combats against bigger blocks that they don't have the right to win against.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that they always have, and it's any elite infantry unit has it, they are limited in their amount of attacks out. So if the thing they're attacking has plenty of wounds to soak, or if they just fluff a little low, then they don't do the damage, doesn't go down. But overall, I've played Dave a good few times as well. He's trounced me once or twice with just Phoenix Guard being so hard to break. So I think they're a very solid unit.
Yeah, one of my first games when Old World came out was against Dave, and he brought his High Elves, and he had a big block of Phoenix Guard with a mage in it, and he made them ethereal for the entire game. And I was like, I have no magic weapons. This is going to be a fun game. And that's pretty much how the game ended, Wallace Dragon eating everything else. It was... He
did it to me with his Phoenix Guard when I had Ungrim Iron Fist. And then he got Vaul's Unmaking off and destroyed Ungrim's axe. And all of Ungrim's abilities are built in his axe. Like, he's 315 points, but it all is in the axe. Like, his actual stats are kind of mid when the axe is gone. So he was just completely crippled. It was so upsetting. It was a good game. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
as you said, though, he's a really, really good player. Like, he's played High Elves since the start of the game. Like, he played the same list pretty much for a full year in first edition and won most of the tournaments he went to with it, because it was just a very effective list. So I think that he is one of these players who he knows his army really, really well, except when it comes to Dragon Princes having weapon skill 6. He doesn't know that. But apart from that, he's a very solid player who knows his army extremely well. So he just went in and played it all the way as it should. So I think he'll do really well with this list. Again, like the other High Elves list, they are also vulnerable to some stuff. So I think they're definitely going to be a pointed pick. Like, they really want to go into something specific.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's jump into Team Wales. And we'll start off with the Empire. The city-state of Newell. Lots of shooty boys. So
lots. No steam tanks.
No steam tanks, but
no tanks.
All of the cannons.
Yeah.
Cannons, outriders, and outriders that actually work, unlike the outriders I had.
Their Outriders are very good, yeah.
Yeah. Engineers, that will be pretty much standing around those cannons. Lictor, what was that? Lictor Sigma.
So this is the one that has the War Altar, which super interesting. I haven't seen a War Altar in play yet.
Yeah,
I'm not even entirely sure what it brings. I think it's an MR around it, if memory serves me right.
You check
so
that.
The actual thing itself gives a magic resistance within range, like it's MR2 built into itself.
Yeah.
Symbol of might. No, just command range increased. Witchbane. Yes, so all wizards within this model's casting range, friend or foe, suffer -2 to casting rolls. And that is in addition to its own MR2. So if you are within 18 inches of this thing, you are -2 to your casting. And then if you're trying to cast something against it, you're -4.
Wow.
So it's quite a powerful anti-magic piece.
That's pretty interesting. Very shooty and anti-magic. I also do like the fact that we've got in the bottom of the new recruit a little ad popping up for Etsy, which is basically showing Tom Carley's 3D printing thing, which I thought was actually quite amusing there.
Like UK resin prints, not supporters of the channel, but getting the advertisement resin.
Not yet. More news on that after Six Nations. Right, so we got some Grand Cathay, which is always going to be good. So you're going to start seeing a trend now with the Grand Cathay lists. You're going to see a couple of Shug Lords and backed up by 1, 2, sometimes 3 Shug Generals. Again, standard 3 cannons, 2 Sky Lanterns this time with the crane guns. I think any prospective Cathay players, this is how you're going to be running your balloons from now on. They're cheapest chips, 135 points, 5 shots coming out with those crane guns. They are really good, and they're really good at putting little points of damage into things and taking out, other balloons, war machines. We have a player here, Pete Pratt, who does a lot of RTOing here in Northern Ireland. Great guy. He is running 3 crane gun balloons right now. And
I think he still has a hero balloon, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a hero balloon as well. And it's horrible because any damage from shooting into your war machines goes onto the war machine. Mm-hmm. And your war machines have only got 3 wounds at the most. So they're just literally just lifting them. So they're really, really good. The cannons are really solid. And then he's got 2 good units of Jade Warriors again. No fly banner and the tapestry for no stomps. And then Jade Lancers with a ring of jet, which is kind of just standard.
The thing I suppose I'm actually quite looking forward to Cathay's new peasant release. There's some things I'm a little concerned about being a bit over kilted. We'll see when the points come. But as far as release goes, I actually am quite looking forward to it because the Cathay lists do feel very cookie cutter, They're usually right now, 3 units. That's going to be the Shug Laird, you're going to have your Cathay Grand Cannon, and you're going to have a Sky Lantern. And then everything else in between that is just filling out your core,
Yeah.
That's pretty much how every Cathay list looks these days.
I think, unfortunately, because Jade Fleet wasn't touched with the new book, this is unfortunately competitive Cathay from now on until I've got a feeling that they will probably address it in the summer because the normal Grand Army and the new Army of Infamy with the peasants is probably not going to be used as much.
It'll depend on the peasants' cost, really, won't it? Have we got the full points cost?
Yeah, I've got a video up on the channel now with an entire breakdown of it. I think the peasants are something like 4 points a model. Yeah, they are. They're 4 points a model. Yeah. They've got you can take them with their spears, which is the strike first, which is what freaked everyone out. But they're not that good.
Strikes first at weapon skill 2. It's probably not that scary, right?
Yeah, and strength 3, but no AP. But the thing is, what you are wanting is the boars, because you get the boars for free. But the new Army of Infamy, it has the ability to give your peasant units things like ambush, reserve move, and move through cover. So once you actually start adding the buffs in, they start looking really, really tasty. And the fact that the entire list is built around peasants and balloons, you get buffs, a bit like Space Marine detachment doctrines type of mechanic. any unit within 12 inches of the balloon gives you this buff for regular infantry, which is basically just the peasants. And you can really go to town with it. You can take a couple of units of Jade Warriors as core, but I think it's 1 unit per 1,000 points. So you do get your slightly harder infantry, but you're basically taking like a guerrilla warfare army.
I mean,
and
1
it's
per
scary.
1,000 is probably as much as you really want anyway.
Yeah,
like 2 solid units of Jade infantry or Jade warriors is about as much Jade warriors as anyone's ever going to take.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
what
it's
are
a
the
nice
guns like the Iron Hails and the Cranes? Because they kind of sounded a bit spicy.
Well, they're exactly the same thing as what the balloons have got. So the Iron Hail guns, I think you're gonna, for the reserve move on the Crane gun teams, you're gonna look at 18 points a model.
Yeah, it's expensive.
The Iron Hail guns are only 12 points, but they don't have the detachment rule, which is the biggest thing that kind of gimps them. In the Army of Infamy, they are used for, they can be taken as core, but in the Grand Army, they're special only. And then they're basically fighting for a place against the cannons and the Crane gunners. Which, to be fair, they're not going to be taken if you're taking the Grand Army.
Yeah, if you're taking them in the Army of Infantry, though, there might be some fun builds there. A limited range, but decent output, decent movement.
Yeah, potentially.
Cover, as you say, skirmishers.
Yeah. I should have my book this weekend, so I'll probably be... I want to be doing a video where I'm going to really sit down and see what I can come up with it.
Build a list or build a few lists and see what you can really get out for value.
Yeah, really see how much I can break it. I think there's ways of making the Iron Hail gunners better in the Army of Infamy. In the Grand Army, you're just not going to touch them. I
think the points are good. I was concerned they'd be really silly and put them at like 8 points or 12, like 6 points a model. And if they did that just from weight of numbers and output, I was like, this is going to be a lot of shooting.
Well,
at 12 points, like that's kind of the same spot as a Thunderer. Like that's okay. You know, they're good.
They are ignoring the modifiers for moving and shooting.
They do, and they ignore modifiers as well for multi-shot.
They do indeed, yeah. So they're basically...
They have good hitting. They're hitting on 3s most of the time, or are they forced to hit?
Forced to hit. They're BS3.
Yeah. Base 3, yeah. So it's not bad.
Not bad. But lanterns with green guns is definitely where you want it when it comes to Z Peasants. But this is a really nice list. I think pretty much all of us have got very similar builds for our Shogungan Lords.
There's an element of... some Cathay lists have gone Shugs basically only, just total Shug. And the entire point of that list is to do one thing, which is to get in there and to just doppelganger everything as much as they can and do as much damage as they can in a short period of time. Because they're not super sturdy. So it's a bit of a glass hammer build.
Yeah.
This list is a bit more flexible. Like similar to yours, I think it's a bit more flexible. It can go claim objectives. It has got cannons to do support fire. It's got the crane guns to support the back. And it has a couple Shugs to get in and, do some Shug damage.
I would say that mine's probably the middle of the road list. This is
quite middle. Yeah,
this is
a little bit more aggressive, but not
a little
much
bit more scarier when it comes to the shooting side. But the 3 cannons and the 2 balloons, that's a lot of firepower every turn.
It is, yeah. And if the cannons get their shots out and hit, it's the D3 +1 damage is huge.
Yeah.
So if they can get those shots and land them, then they're going to do great.
Really nice.
As you say, good luck to a dragon list dealing with 6 shots from cannons in turn 1. It's a lot of output.
This is what I was aiming for, but the logistics of getting 2 balloons over from Northern Ireland to Scotland I have my 2 balloons literally painted above me on my shelf, and I was happily going to do it, but I just couldn't actually get the pair of them over. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, so, as you said, it's a limitation of having to travel over to England and to Scotland. And
for now, we'll work on that for Dome Nations. But then we've got Nick with his High Elves, and again, another High Elf list, which is nice to see.
And it's Trace as well. I love Trace. I think they're really, really
very,
solid.
very different from Dave's. We've got 2-star dragons, a load of woodsmen, a couple of archers, and then some Sisters of Avalon, and then all the buffed up things you could think of, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he's got that unit of ambushers as well with the woodsmen. Like, woodsmen are fantastic. They have great output. They're very, very solid elves. Like, for elves, they're very, very solid. But this list is similar enough to others, relying on the double dragons. And as, we've said, the 550 point limit on characters has really affected some lists and what they can do. It's brought those high elf dragons back, because there was a point where the 500 point limit came in, and they suffered quite badly from losing the extra access to their magic items, because that's pretty much all they lost, was like an extra 50 points of magic items or so. So you're seeing those lists now coming back at the 2,200 points, giving us the 550. So they're getting that extra bit of points to spend on their big dragons, which is going to make them a little bit nastier.
Yeah, I do like
Star
this.
Dragon as well. 2 Star Dragons, like, don't have Impetuous. They're very solid. Like, they're a pair of very solid dragons.
Yeah. And then we got Mikhail with his expeditionary force. Like, I love the fact he's got 2 Doomseekers. I seen that when I first looked at it, I was just like, "Wow, you mad lad, you absolute legend."
The Doomseekers are great. I always taking 2 Doomseekers as Gotrek and Felix when they were characters, but since they lost character, it doesn't feel right to do it anymore.
Yeah. Those
2 people are too important to not have the character trait. They can't challenge. Like, no challenge with Gotrek. What is this? Get out of here. I'm not doing it.
I know.
But yeah, this is a great list. The Warriors are super interesting in my opinion. And I think they do something really important to this list that the other X-Force lists suffer from. They have Veteran, which means they're going to be entrenched with a re-rollable leadership check for terror. Now, he's probably going to stick Rune of Courage on one of those units. Like, I would be surprised if he didn't keep that on the Thunderers to keep them sturdy. So he's got them with the Rune of Courage, and then he's got the second unit of Warriors, who he's got Veteran reroll on. So there's 2 units that are not going away to terror checks, which is one of the big concerns for X-Force. They just get terror and then lose their entrenched and fall off the table. Yeah, it's a great list. You know, the bolt thrower, I think, is probably points that could have been spent elsewhere. I have used the Rune of Skewering bolt thrower for a long time, because in Royal Clans, it's the only thing you have access to. You have grudge throwers as well, but pain in the ass to
I mean, we all know that he should have been taking the Goblin Hewer because of how overpowered
peak
it is.
Weaponry, like, even just so that someone has to come over and explain how it works.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's a really good list. I think one thing I'd say going up through it again is you got a lot of sappers here. Like, he's put the MR Cam on the sappers. I don't see any runesmiths in here. So the one thing that this list is suffering, in my opinion, is it doesn't have huge MR stacking to deal with the other zap lists. And that's something that this list could be quite good into. Without that extra MR here and there, you wonder, would it last as long?
So I am right in thinking that he's got basically a sapper for each of his units. He's got one for the Warriors, the Rangers, and then the Thunderers. Yeah. So,
like, the odds are he'll probably scout in the Rangers within range of the sapper's starting position, and then he can just walk up onto into the Rangers. Or he'll, like, march the guy in there as quick as he can. Because if the sapper marches into the unit, it's not going to cause the unit to be counting as marching or anything. It's just the sapper who does it, and accounts for his movement in a skirmish formation, as long as they're in skirmish formation, that is. That is definitely something he could do. It's a very tasty list. I just think that a runesmith wouldn't have gone amiss in there.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but I mean, he gets bonus points purely for bringing Team Doomseekers. And
the gyros with steam guns, actually, we didn't talk about that, but that is a nice bit of counter tech into the Tomb Kings and into the Graveguard, because you now have something that can actually put down steam damage across large blocks of infantry.
Well, I think there's definitely a theme, because I'm not a big, massive expert on dwarfs, but I'm assuming Burst of Flaming rune is flamey damage.
I actually don't think it is.
No,
this is Thundergun. So the Thundergun thing, the bursting flame is when it hits, it does 2d3 hits. So Rune of Rapid Fire means you fire twice. Rune of Bursting Flame means each hit is 2d3 hits. So you can get 4d3 hits from the 2 of those.
I should work at the design team on the fact that they put flammable
I actually don't
balloons.
think it is a flaming attack. I'm never really sure, because I have runesmiths in the unit that give me the flaming attacks anyway, so it's kind of redundant.
It's got the word flame in it, so mentally it is.
It's because the Anvil of Doom's rune of Wrath and Ruin, which is a giant fireball spell, is not flaming attacks. So it makes me think it's probably not flaming attacks.
It's also my balloons are not flammable, even though it says they are.
Well, they are flammable, but it means nothing.
It's
completely pointless. Yeah.
And then we've got Bryn with his Tomb Kings. Wow. All of the skirmishing warbows. All of them. This is very, very different from Dave's list.
It is.
But it has a lot of Ushabti.
This is the one with the 19 Shabdi.
Yeah.
So 19 new Shabdi is just output beyond. Like, that's a lot of shots. This list doesn't have staying power in the same way that the other Tomb Kings lists do, because it doesn't have the big block that can kind of soak up damage. So it's relying on its output in the early game being really high, and just the opponent not having enough stuff left over to really engage later on.
Yeah.
Which is, it's absolutely a tactic. Like if those shoot chabty can just lift big targets off the table every turn, then he's going to have a grand old time. Like this is not a list I'd put Paddy into. Paddy would have a very bad time.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger Prio for me would be that 9 block and then work down into the 5 block. Once you've mashed, but then the thing is with them, you've got to kill the unit outright because he just brings it back if you don't.
Yeah, it has to be a total kill. You can't lean less than that. It's an utter kill or you're nothing. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Yeah, this list, like, there's probably some areas of vulnerability in this list around where the high priests are going to be, and they're probably going to have to stand out solo on the field. Like they don't have a unit to go into. They don't have someone to protect themselves. So if they get unlucky and you position well, you might get a cannon shot off into them. You might be able to get a cheeky spell that could target them. There's things that you could use to pip the general here, which isn't ideal. But at the same time, Bryn plays loads of Tomb Kings. He knows how Tomb Kings work. So I'd say this is a very solid list. Like those 13 skeleton shooters, they're going to be very difficult objectively to just lift. Like you have to go in and fight them.
Yeah, and I just get PTSD every time I see 6 skeleton horse archers because they're so annoying. You just can't get them because they just move and shoot. They're moving really fast, and they're just all over the board. They're just like, will you just stay still so I can hit you?
Yeah, it's a good list. It's a good list. I think it really is relying though on being a counter list. So this list wants to go in against something with large targets.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's going to use the skirmishers to just stand in front of its shoot chabty, and then it's just going to shoot stuff with, its big boys.
Yeah.
I'd say probably Casket of Souls will be going for protection of lighter protection most of the time. Just get the extra ward save out, because units staying there for a little longer, it's always good.
Be scared of the illusion. Yes. Yeah, it's a nice one. I'm interested to see how it does, to be fair. And then we got Matthew with his Bretonians. We don't have a Bretonian list.
Yeah, that was the list that... so James McDonnell obviously played 9th Age and big Warhammer player over here. He's basically our equivalent to Peter Pratt up north. Yeah. We've got James. He was the chairperson for Team Ireland last year, and this year he is basically just a background organizer for 90% of what's going on in the local community. So he's a very important person in the community. But he's a big Brett player, and basically he's not available to play with us. So sadly he couldn't join us for the Six Nations, but he will be giving us lots of games into Brett's. So I've got a game against him sometime this coming week. Should be good fun.
So Green Knight, horrible.
Yep. Got to see the Knight.
I am right in thinking that the Green Knight can charge us on the turn that it arrives.
I believe so. I believe in Masters they comped that he couldn't, and I believe he was comped at Worlds to not be allowed to do it.
But we haven't.
As far as I'm aware, in just Com FAQ and the pack that Pash has put together, the Green Knight can charge on a turn he arrives. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, he is only a T4 guy. He's not that hard to deal with. It is just the fact he's ethereal. If you can't deal with ethereal, he's going to cause trouble.
Well, yeah. If you haven't got ethereal, you need to beat him on combat res, so he then starts losing damage. But
yeah. But again, he'll also be back then as well, so he's quite a solid character.
But this is a nice list, a lot of Pegasus, big block of men-at-arms, a tooled-up Baron, a tooled-up Duke.
Men-at-arms might be my favorite infantry unit.
I really like a Prophetess on a horsey. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Prophetess, you stick her in the back of the unit of Mounted Knights of the Realm, and she's going to be very good. Yeah.
Definitely needs a plastic miniature. Okay, Games Workshop, are you watching?
I have. I did collect Bretonians for a brief period in 5th and 6th edition, and I have it was the start of 6th because I think that's when they came in with Lizardmen, one of the two. But I have a Bretonian army from years ago, and I have the Prophetess sitting side saddle on a unicorn. She's one of my favorite models. I haven't done anything with her in like 20 years, so I should probably clean it up and paint it someday. But I love that.
I started Old World, getting back into Old World with the Bretonians, getting the big box.
Very nice.
I have the Prophetess, the named one on the unicorn.
Elise Descartes.
The new one. Yeah, I have her in a box to paint. But I was thinking about doing her for Golden Demon, so
Yeah, that's a really nice one to do for Golden Image. Like, she's a beautiful
She's a
miniature.
beautiful model.
Really, really is.
But yeah, I'm interested to see this list. I
like this list as a
spot for
counter to other Bretonian lists, because this list has got 2 sets of Pegastars as opposed to just relying on the one. And we were talking about this in Northern Ireland in the event that went on there. The Pegstar problem is that when it goes in against single characters, frontage, yeah. So if a Pegasus unit gets charged by a enemy skirmish unit, it can only max frontage against them, so max base size. It can't go wider. So it gets caught by something like a dragon. It can only then put 2 Pegasus Knights against it, most likely.
Yeah.
And if it's got 2 Knights there, then that is rank and file full for 1 character who can go in. So it's a bit limiting in what you can actually do with your front there. So there is a bit of a concern with the Peg Stars. They're over-reliant on being able to put characters into attack points. If they're not charging, they're not getting it. Whereas this list, I think, could be a good counter to that.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting indeed. Yeah, I was trying to keep up with that conversation, but when you started all talking about the skirmish rules, you completely lost me.
Skirmishers are such a pain. Like, I've been talking recently in the Dark Discord and like identified that they don't even get the combat order and everything else because it's not worded correctly for them. Like, they are very limiting in how they function.
Well, maybe 2nd edition will fix them.
Yeah, like I think a couple of units might just lose it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like things like Rangers might lose skirmish but keep scouting, or gain ambushers and scouting. They might just lose skirmish altogether.
Yeah, I was always under the impression that Pegs had the Lance formation, but apparently they've lost that in the FAQ,
they lost
didn't they?
It, yeah. Which also a weird choice. Like, I think it was because, like we were just talking about, they were very good at getting in with all their characters in Lance formations, whereas now they can't.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. They're not really in a Lance wedge formation, so...
No, unless you go to Warhammer World and see that fantastic diorama of them all coming down onto the bastion, and they're in a lance. That's fantastic.
I need to go to Warhammer World.
Yeah, man, I haven't been in a year or 2 now. I'm very sad about it. Hopefully, I get to go again soon.
And then we got Jacobs, Wood Elves. Big fan of Wood Elves. They are such an awesome looking army.
I have no idea what those cats do. They genuinely confuse me. The Beastmaster with the forest cats seems like such a wild pick. I actually gonna go read them up now just to see what they do, because I have no idea. Yeah, this list again, we talk about counters. There's definitely a fantastic counter in this list, being evasive. So going into vampire counts, one of the big advantages of the vampire counts obviously is all their screams. Their screams are considered shooting attacks in Com FAQ.
Yep.
This list could easily just be evading screams all game long and just staying at the 8-inch mark. A Banshee goes to scream, they just move out of the scream range, the scream is wasted. So there's definitely some fantastic counter in here.
But one thing I've noticed as well, there's a lot of the Treekin in here. So it's a lot of the Dryads, the Treekin, which is something that you don't see that often.
No, you don't.
It's kind of cool. And obviously we've got the Forest Dragon. I really hope it's the old school Forest Dragon, the really weird S-bended metal one. And then I'm going to ask the guy if he's...
I think they were Trish Carden sculpts, those old snaky dragons. Big fan of the snaky, warty dragons.
Brilliant. They need to bring that back in plastic. But yeah, they're really cool. I'm really liking this. I love seeing Wood Elves on the table, because it's an army that I've always thought about starting and wanting to paint up in autumn colours. But yeah, they are really, really cool. And you get the really cool twins on the dragon. But I just wouldn't want to build that dragon.
No. Oh, okay. So the cats in the unit gives them movement 7. And they don't fear flaming attacks, and they don't count as war beasts for panics and stuff.
Okay.
So that's something.
Nice. Yeah, interesting.
I don't know what they do. They get they're really interesting units.
This is what's the brilliant about events like this, because people come up with these weird and wonderful ideas,
weird combos,
and people are not really prepared for it, and it kind of can catch people out.
Absolutely, they've really cool. Armorbane, Motley Crew run with a pack of skirmishers. They're a movement 7, light infantry unit, I suppose, kind of semi-cavalry unit.
Nice,
and they're not expensive. It's 50 points.
Yeah,
he honestly might have just taken them because it was he had an extra 60 points left over and thought he'd throw us all for a fucking loop by taking them. We'd be so confused about what they do.
Get all the teams talking. What are we doing with all these cats?
because like looking at the rest of the list, you got a dragon in there with the annoyance of netlings, which is really good, makes it harder to hit. Armor meteoric arms, it's got the 5 up board save. 5 up armor, 5 up board save. Like it's a very difficult dragon to just immediately deal out with. Spellsinger high magic, branch wraith. Like I'm surprised he didn't go for what's the spell to get? What's the one that gives you walk between worlds? Which illusion?
It's the ethereal one, isn't it?
Ethereal spell. I'm surprised he didn't go for that, because Dryad's biggest weakness, as far as I can see, is that they really are very fragile armor-wise. Their toughness is good, the T4, but their armor is only heavy armor at best, I think. It might even be worse than that. So they're very fragile. If they were ethereal, suddenly that 24 Dryad unit could stay a lot longer on the field.
Yeah.
You're looking at them lasting way longer than they should.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not, as a dwarf player, I know of the spells, but what lore they come from, no idea.
Yeah. Well, I only know Doppelganger.
That's the only spell you need to know, just the one.
That's it. We invented it.
You did invent magic after all. Like that is canon.
It is. It's. I've got a book.
It is high magic. Yeah, so it's high magic.
Exactly.
So he's likely turning that unit ethereal. That's what the plan is there. So 24, what's called Deepwood Dryads that are ethereal with their branch rich in them.
Nice.
Like that's going to be good. Objectively, that's just going to score. Like it's going to be very hard to get that off the field, even if you have, because they're stubborn or they're unbreakable as well. So they just need to get onto the objective, get their ethereal off, and then they're just not going.
Yeah.
Yeah, very solid.
Cool. Magic damage shugs straight into their face. Yeah. So we've got vampire counts next, and a very like. I hope this the new plastic black coaches and not the old one, because the new plastic one's an amazing model.
I love the
C2
one as well, with its funny little vampire all curled up in the back. He's having a good time. But the new one is absolutely stunning. Yeah. But
to see 2 of them on the table is going to be pretty cool.
So I think similar enough, what's happening with these black coaches is terror checkers, right?
Yeah.
They're there to trigger off terror checks on other stuff, because it is just going to keep enemy units moving backwards if you just keep making them do terror checks. So kind of like the concussion guns for me, the stupidity checks, like more leadership failures are more good for you. If you're forcing your opponent to take lots of them every turn, they're going to fail eventually.
But one thing that's interesting with this one is there's no hex wraiths.
No, but I don't know, hex rates. Like I think if you're taking the black coaches, you kind of have to drop the hex rates, because points wise, you're getting yourself to a limiting point anyway. And the black coach, it's not ethereal itself. It's only Holy Corporeal versus the Corporeal command phase to start next phase. Yeah. It may become incorporeal in command phase, remain incorporeal to the start of turn next sub phase. Okay, but if you do it, you lose your impact hits. So you can make it ethereal for the time it needs to be ethereal, and then when you're ready to charge in, you turn off ethereal, and now it's real.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of safe from magic and shooting and stuff, which is good. Yeah. Like not from magic shooting specifically, but from just generic shooting like cannonballs and stuff. They're not going to be targeting this.
Yeah. No, they'll probably be targeting the zombie dragon.
Yeah, which is also a great choice. Like a zombie dragon in there is so much fun. Yeah, like again, he's the 5/5 dragon. That's what he is. Like that's what he's going to try to do.
Yeah. I like it. It's a cool list. I like it a lot. I mean, it's looking at it, you can kind of play into it. Where the other lists, you're kind of looking at them going, I can't really do much of that.
No thanks.
No.
Like does this list really work? Because normally when you go into vampire counts, you are totally focused on dealing with the necromancer on a mortis engine.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes into this list, suddenly you don't have the necromancer on the mortis engine. He's just chilling on foot, and there's a dragon to deal with. Yeah, so now all your focus is going into that.
Yeah, well, he's going to be he'll be chilling behind that big block of Graveguard.
Absolutely,
those zombies are not going to be like 20 strong by the time he's finished. They'll be 30 plus. Yeah. So he's going to have two big massive tar pits, a Graveguard unit with great weapons, which have got that horrible cleaving blow thing.
White Lord BSB in there as well.
So you're not really wanting to go into combat with that unless you're really tooled up, and like you can't, and you're not going to get to the necromancer because he's going to be stood right behind that line. So
like you can get the necromancer with lucky shots. Like I think it's likely that the necromancer will probably try and stay behind the dragon if it can, at least early game, so that crunch happens and it can't actually be hit.
Yeah.
So if you can keep him behind the large targets, you keep crunch available, then cannonballs can't get in, because ultimately for armies that want to try and deal with the vampire counts who don't have good tech to do it, their only answer is hope for a lucky artillery strike. Because if you landed on the wizard, you might blow him up. That's kind of the only thing I can see as an immediate way of dealing with it. So keeping him behind the dragon until, mid game when you're ready to engage, definitely. Probably the goal. No, hex rates is weird. Yeah, because they are very good. But I suppose the black coaches do terror checks, like they're very good. The hex rates cost terror. I think they do as well.
I think they do,
yeah. So it's an interesting choice.
But the black coaches should be quite.
No, they just cause fear.
They will. They will catch people out.
They will catch people out. I'm just wondering, do they catch people out more though than a unit of hex rates? Probably not.
No, because everyone's going to be used to seeing the hex rates.
That's true. As we said with the Wood Elf list, is this a distraction Carnifex? Have they got two very interesting models that people are confused about and a big distraction Carnifex to keep you busy while he does tricky play?
Yeah,
maybe. It is just a very solid vampire counts list though. Like vampire
it's a nice list.
Good. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see the vampire in a vampire counts list. They're unusual.
Yeah, very nuts. But that is our Team Wales, which I believe we'll be playing at some point. I think it's Sunday.
Day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
Yeah. We're France, Italy, England, first. Then Scotland, Wales, I think. I think that might be our last game.
Yeah.
It's either Wales, Scotland, or Scotland, Wales. I can't remember which.
I know we definitely got England last on Saturday.
Yeah, England last on Saturday. That's good. They'll be able to go to the pub afterwards and have a few drinks and feel better for themselves.
Unless Richie's put them on a drinking ban again.
Oh, it's after the days, though. They'll get a few, I'm sure. We can convince Richie.
Yeah, we'll just bear hug him to death. So we've got Team Scotland, our hosts. We've got Adam's High Elves. Obviously, these lists were highly praised by Pash. So I'm expecting good things now. Not that Pash would be biased in any way, shape, or form that Scotland is going to win. Apparently, but yeah, nice. It's again. we've got a Star Dragon, another Star Dragon, and then some Dragon Princes, which is quite nice. A couple of sister units, Silver Helms, interesting.
Yeah, this list is kind of interesting to me. So the Dragon Princes are the big part that I'm not sure they're worth it, because they're good cavalry, but they're only they're only 6, and there's a lot of points spent in getting them onto the field. I know they're you can get up to 2-up save and all that, because they got barding heavy or foot barded plate armored cavalry, they're very good, but for 269 points, it's a lot of points spent on a unit that's not objectively scoring. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Sisters of Avalon are really solid, and I like them. I'm a big fan of the Double Dragons. I think they're fantastic. I think they're going to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just going to be a standard for every high elf list, to be fair.
It is, yeah, absolutely. But objectively, I'm not sure how much scoring this list does. I think it really is trying to lift stuff off the table. And maybe that's why it has the 6 Dragon Princes. It doesn't care about objectively playing and just going to try and hit as hard as it can in as quick a game as it can.
I mean, the Elenian Reavers, the Archers, they're all core. The Silver Helms are core.
The Silver Helms are core. Yep, the Archers are core. The Illyrian Reavers aren't scoring because they're too low. Oh, no, actually, they're cavalry as well.
No, they are. So they've got enough there.
So 3 units that score?
Yeah.
It's not bad. You lose 2 Illyrian Reavers who don't have many armor, really. They're kind of sitting out there in the open. 2 of them, and then they're not scoring. The Archers, you're only looking at 7 on Archers. Isn't that much to do?
Yeah, but unfortunately, you do have to deal with those 2 Star Dragons first.
Yeah, the Dragons are absolutely... I think it's quite full send. I think that's really what this list is going to do, is it's going to just full send its big stuff, walk up its small stuff, and just try and win out the game by the late point by doing enough damage early on. Yeah. I think that's probably what High Elves in this build would try and do anyway, because they are kind of a glass hammer. They always have been.
And then the team captain's not playing, because she doesn't have a list.
Just there. She's there to play the players and make sure they're all doing the right thing.
Making sure they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. So we've got a Vampire Counts, all of the zombies, some Hex Race.
This is exactly what I just kind of expect a really mean Vampire Gantz list to look like.
Yeah.
You know, this is it.
100%.
It's double Banshees. It's got the 2 Mortis engines. It's got it does have the 2, doesn't it? Mortis. Yep, it has the 2 Mortis. Unless I'm blind. I am blind. Yeah, just the 1 Mortis.
Necromancer.
Yeah, so it's got Mortis,
Yep, Mortis
2 Banshees.
Yeah.
Necrotex, yeah. No Acolytes on foot. Yeah. It's a lot of zombies. The Felbats make perfect sense. Go steal a baggage train. 5 hex rates, perfect sense. Cause terror checks, flanking, ethereal. Really good. 32 Graveguard. Good luck to you getting through that. Just such a pain in the hole to deal with.
And then,
this list is a real tar pit list. Like, it's going to be really hard
80,
to get
80 zombies that are going to turn into well over 140 zombies by the time he's finished. Yeah.
It might struggle against lists that feel up to a fight and are willing to just put stuff in against the zombies and drive them back off objectives, because they are going to be giving ground every turn. So unless they're putting stuff behind them to stop that, like the Tomb Banshees, they could just stand behind and stop the give grounds. If they can get, or if something can move faster to get onto the objectives, it might struggle to score objectively. But it's got a lot of core. Like, it definitely can do it. It's just about if the opponent lets them do it.
I wouldn't want to. Like, I went into Stuart Zombies and was there for like 3 turns. It was just.
I was the same. Just they take so much time to try and get through.
Yeah, I killed 18 in 1 turn, and I was like feeling quite good. And he just brought 14 back, and I was just like, "What is the point?" Like,
what was the point?
Yeah, like
it's
a horrible.
They're one of those. They're one of those lists in the current meta where everyone has to deal with vampires at some point when you're playing to the high standards, because they are so stable. Like, they're just such they're such a stable army. They're so hard to deal with. I don't think that they're point and click. I think people can still lose with them if they're careless. Particularly about positioning, you got to be a little bit careful. Make sure that your Banshee's in the right spot, because you're going to be using reserve move more than anything else. So making sure your reserve move is effective and that it's actually going to be able to do what you need it to do is good. It's a solid list. Like, you know, if we're talking about filth factor, that's a solid 9 for me. Like, that's as good as it gets. Like, I don't give things 10 filth factor unless they're genuinely broken in the game, like loads of Cathay Balloons were. That's a 10 filth. Fed up just dealing with it. As for this, it's like, yeah, there is some play into it. It just doesn't feel very good, because they can just, you know, leadership check you out for regenning stuff all day, and there's not much you can do about that.
It's a pure DPS check.
It is, yeah.
And then we have Jonathan with his Orcs and Goblins.
And maybe this is the counter. Maybe the Orcs and Goblins are the counter. Just all fanatics into Graveguard. Go.
All the fanatics, Goblin Bolt Throwers, Doom Divers, couple of Rock Lobbers. I mean, I love it. This is like a crazy Goblin and with a sprinkle of Orc shooty list. Which is mental.
Goblin shooty list. Yeah, it's a lot of shooting. Like, the output here is high. It's a very low leadership army, though. So I'm not sure how much I love it going into things that are going to cause lots of terror checks. That would make me feel nervous.
I just want to know what the 5 Snotling mobs are for.
5 Snotling mobs?
Yeah, it's literally 5 Snotling mobs. Like, why? Like, what dastardly plan does he have with those Snotlings? That's just so good.
Let's read them quick. Immune to Psychology, Impetuous Loner, Open Order, Skirmishers, Unbreakable Vanguard. Maybe Immune to Psychology, put them in front of stuff so that Ethereal can't cause terror checks by trying to charge them.
True.
That would be my first thought, just quick reading them.
Orc and Goblin Nurglings.
They are also swarms, so you can see over them, which is something.
Yeah.
So, like, they can sit in front of the bolt throwers, maybe, and then the 3 bolt throwers can shoot over them. They can't be directly charged by them. Like, there's some play in that.
Yeah, clever. But yeah, pretty good list. Only got, 6 fanatics? Yeah, there's only 6 fanatics. I'm sure there'll be a list this weekend with more than 6 fanatics.
There is. We'll get there. Dave Brewer sitting there with a big smile on his face.
I've heard about this list for ages, and I was like so intrigued to see what he actually planned. But yeah, he didn't disappoint. But this, I like
you
this.
did have a question in the chat asking about the War Altar. Yes, we did talk about the War Altar.
Yes, we did.
I was saying that it's a super interesting choice. Again, with lots of zappy magic stuff in the field. An MR4 magic thing, like causing it a -2 to casting around it, and it being MR2 itself. Super interesting. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you play that. If you're playing it against me, it's going to do utterly nothing, and that'll be very sad for you. But against all of the other magic casters, it'll be a very good thing to have. Yeah, I think it's cool. As a dwarf, I don't like magic, so I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it was an interesting list. Definitely interesting. But yeah, Big fan. Snotland. Yes. And then we got Callum's with his Beastman. And it's going to be all of the Vile Tide. Oh,
Yep.
Rizagors, Ungors, lots of Gors, a couple of Dragon Ogres, and yeah, all the Vile Tides.
Yeah, the Valtide lists, like, they're solid. We know what Valtide does. It's very good. Like,
I would say what
to
Beastmen are probably one of the best armies in the game right now.
They are. They've got a lot of tools to deal with a lot of other stuff in the game. Their leadership isn't atrocious for what they are, even though their armor is utter pants. The toughness being good is really strong. Like, they're all got the Herdstone. I suppose with the Beastmen, it really comes down to the Herdstone and how they place it. Because obviously they get casting buffs and stuff from it if they're playing Wild Herd, I believe. Yeah, which he is. Yeah, Wild Herd.
Yeah,
so
this is what I think.
Wild Herd gets casting buffs,
Herd.
so that'll be +3. So no, it'll be leadership a level 2 wizard +1, and then another +1 from the Herdstone. So they get up to +4 to cast, which is very, very solid. Like, yeah, it's going to be good. Like, it's going to be hard for people to deal with those. As for the Razorgors, they're an interesting unit.
Sub Richie.
Fury. Yeah, interesting boys.
This is good.
Yeah, I quite like this list again. Again, Beastman lists are very solid. I think they got a lot of output. I do wonder if there was a little bit of points that could have been squeezed into the Ungar herds just to make them that tiny bit bigger. I keep talking about US 10 units being just a tiny bit bigger. I just like them around the 12, 13 mark because it just keeps them in the field a little longer. It means that something like a Ruby Ring of Fire coming in might not kill them out in one hit. So,
yeah, we've got anti-stomp banner.
Plenty of scoring units though, like Gore Herds, 20 Primal War Herds, like
but that's
scoring units.
Pretty much standard for every Beastman list.
It is, yeah.
And then we got Daniel with his Bretonian Exiles, so we're going to have Bretonians with guns, which is always scary to see. So again, Green Knight standard, tooled up Baron, 2 tooled up Barons, an Outcast Wizard on a Warhorse.
Gandalf.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Paladin, 6 foot knights, which you either have to take or you have mounted or not, and then you've got your yeomanry, lots of peasants, and then your peg star.
So
2 bombards.
This is a fast army with its skirmish and its mounted cavalry. Double bombard's always good. Like, everyone knows that a metal pipe tied to a piece of wood manned by peasants is better than dwarf and artillery. Just fundamentally is. And the peg star, like we were talking about peg star earlier, that's the thing that I suppose you're concerned with now is the peg star and getting your charge in first. I think there's lists that can counter this out because if they get the charge into you, you only get to put one of your heroes in the front.
Those Pegasus are going to have what? There's going to be the Paladin there with the spell at your rack, so that's -2 MR.
So you got your Paladin on the Barded Peg, you've got the Baron on a Barded Peg, and you have the other Baron on a Barded Peg. There's 3 Barons and the Paladin. Like, that's turning that unit of 5 into a unit of 8. Yeah. If you think about frontage, you're not going to get to put all of those models in the front purely because the rank and file limitations to your front is limited. Now, if you're making the charge, you can go as wide as you like, but then it's only supporting attacks. It's not that good either,
Yeah.
Into big blocks, this might be okay because it's getting a lot of its frontage in, but into smaller units, like if you're only 5 wide 3 deep or 5 wide 4 deep and this charged you, it's not going to be getting all the attacks for output it could be getting into you purely because it just doesn't have enough space to put itself in, Like the Peg Star, I think we might see less of them going forward purely for those reasons. But they are good. They've been in the game since the start of the game.
I think until they properly FAQ how it works properly.
Yeah.
Then
we know that it's the limitation that you can never have more heroes than rank and file in the front. So if you are charged by something like a dragon, then you can only be as wide as that frontage is. So you get maybe 3 guys at best. So it's 1 hero in the front.
Yeah.
So that is very limiting to what they could actually be doing output-wise. But yeah, they're solid. Like Pegasus have always been good. They will always do lots of damage.
And then we have Joe with his Tomb Kings, his Mortuary Cult, High Priest, Mortuary Priest. Those annoying skeleton archers.
Your favorite.
I love them. 16 skeleton, the Bowman, Skirmishers, 8. Oh, wow. Yeah, only 18 of Shabdi. Could you not have got the extra one? and Tomb Scorpions, which I've seen a lot of these past few weeks.
So those
very
two
annoying.
scorpions are just ambushers. Do they have the terrors from below? I don't believe they do. Unless they get it from Mort Cults built in, which I think they might do. I know one of the two of them gives them built-in terrors from below. I think it probably is Mort Cults. I will quickly look at that while you read through them. I mean, the terrorist below. They get that in Mort Cults.
Yeah, so they're going to be deep striking. Well, technically anywhere they want. Yeah. I played against something similar.
May have the special rule for 2 points per model. Did he buy it?
I don't know.
Maybe not. So maybe they don't have it.
But yeah, well, there's still 18 of Shabdi, which is kind of.
I mean, why are we talking about the Scorpions? It's the shoot Shabdi. You're going to do the job here.
The Scorpions are there to just distract you, but those of Shabdi are the big issue.
I do rate the Scorpions. I think they're really good. Like something with a killing blow. Like you had that risk. I think was it you were playing against Dave, and he nearly got your Shuglord with a killing blow Scorpion just by luck. It's like
he really did.
It was very tight. So they can be sneaky.
And I think he tried to. That was when he went for that charge and literally rolled really well and got it. But yeah, that could have been a bit of a bad day for me.
Could have been
but I've always had issues with the Scorpions with McCarthy. Like they're just really annoying to deal with.
They are,
and they kind of pop up where you don't want them to.
That is literally their special ability. Like they are very good at just getting in the back, popping up out of the ground. And maybe they kill something.
But like this list has everything that I hate about Tomb Kings.
It doesn't have the big 2-guard block.
No, but it has
is something I'm
skirmishing
not a big fan
horsemen.
of. Yeah, loads of skirmishers. Like this list might be vulnerable into things like we talk about X-Force, like Richie's X-Force, which is much more shooting infantry heavy.
Well, he's in the chat, so we can slag it off.
Yeah, well, no, because it works. The shooting heavy X-Force infantry unit really works against this because it's got decent armor. It's going to have its ward save from Master Nagrungni if he's taken it. But what it's really going to do is it's going to ignore their shoot Shabdi. Like 18 shoot Shabdi shots. Sure, they're probably going to get, a good few kills every turn. Yeah. But are they going to do enough to be worth their points and investment back? Probably not. And if, you get lucky with cannons or get lucky with something in the side of them, maybe they go down.
Yeah, I mean, I've shot a lot of Shabdi lately with my cannons, and I find them, you're only really maybe killing one or two of them.
Yeah, unless you get a flank.
And if someone's stupid enough to give you the whole line, then, I'm going to love that.
Take it.
Absolutely. That's when I
remember the function over form on the dwarf cannons does mean they can move and shoot. So they can be a little sneaky. Yeah.
And then we've got Jimmy with his X-Force. We're expecting to see lots of gyrocopters.
So this is the gyro spam. And he's gone with the clatter guns on his. Which, I love the scout gyros with clatter guns because that's the only option they can take anyway. But their ballistic skill is 4. The normal gyros are only ballistic skill 3, so immediately they're hitting on 5s before long range. It just makes me worried because their range isn't brilliant. You got D6 attacks, so could be good, could be bad. You're hitting on 5s well within 12 inches. You're hitting on 6s at more. Yes, they can march and shoot, which is great. They're very fast. They're going to get up the board, get a lot of shots off. But if they don't get those hits in, kind of feels like a lot of points to be not hitting with.
He's got the sapper for those Thunderers.
Dead right.
And a Rune Priest.
He's got Burlock too, so they've got their Expeditionary as well. Yes, they can move and shoot. They've got Burlock Damson, who's going to give them no negatives to long range. So their 4 is rerolling 1s always, which is very good. Until cover and stuff kicks in. When cover kicks in, then it's a pain. But
yeah, solid. It's pretty much what you expect from...
it's a really solid X-Force list. The organ guns as well are really good because they can hold the flank quite well. If something tries to come around the side of those Thunders, it's going to get 2 artillery dice worth of hits, which is nasty.
And then we got Chris with his Grand Carthay. And how many shugs does he have? And he's gone for the 4 shugs. Only 2 cannons, two lanterns. But then he's he happened to bring slightly less core. So 2 units of Jade Lancers with ambush. No banners because, they're going to die. So you're going to give away 100 points. Ring of Jet, Musician, Ring of Ruin. And then 17 Jade Warriors. Charm Shield, nice. And then No Fly banner.
It's a solid list. Cathay's still very good. Like no one.
Yeah,
they're still like very effective army.
I was running
for sure.
I was running my Monkey King with the quills. It's really good, but for 25 points for one turn to get re-rolling everything,
I kind of like that.
It is nice,
good.
But the problem is you've only got 3 dice to try to get your doppelganger off. So it's kind of like, do you really want the doppelganger, or do you just want to kill something on one turn?
Like there's the joy of if you got in with this and got Vermilion Quills off, and it all works for you. Just it's going to be so tasty. It's going to be so tasty. But
yeah. I mean, but the Monkey King's only going to be 4 attacks.
Yeah,
that's all it's going to be. So it is good, and when you pop it, it's really nice. But I
suppose the better question is, what would you have spent the 25 points on? Because 25 points isn't a huge amount. Like it's 1 or so magic items more, a couple more infantry.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are putting the scroll on, so you get the
power scroll.
It's the Cathay item that gives you 4 dice when randomly rolling for your. I have it on my Monkey King.
Scroll of Wage In.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 attempts at doppelganger rather than just the 3.
And that's only 10 points. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can lean it heavily into that and then make him a level 4 and then, roll 5 dice.
And then don't get doppelganger anyway.
And then don't get doppelganger at all and just cry because you spent all that points.
And wonder why you didn't take a lore familiar in the end.
But yeah. I mean, he has 2 Vermilion Quills. I didn't think they were common.
Vermilion Quills. Let's have a look.
I didn't think they were a common item.
Maybe I can't spell that word because I'm dumb. Vermilion has 1 L, not 2.
My books are downstairs, so I can't look at it.
I got it. 0 to 1 per model. Single use. Bearer of Vermilion Quill, but not the mount can reroll failed hit rolls and wound rolls during the combat phase. Extremely common.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think that might have been FAQ to be extremely common because it's got a little asterisk.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think it was extremely common in the actual Arcane Journal. But that's pretty cool.
The wounds is really solid as well. Like that is actually quite good. If it was only rerolling hits, I'd be like, yeah, I would probably take that. But
you're rerolling those ones.
Yeah. If I could take a Vermilion Quill on my cannon, I would, because I swear to God, every time.
You don't need anything extra on those cannons.
Oh no, I definitely do. Mine are utter garbage. Like I take them for the aesthetic.
But that is Team Scotland, our lovely hosts.
I actually think that, to be fair to Pat, it is a very solid listed list of teams. Like that's a really, really solid set of lists. They look very good. I think they're going to be quite good. There's nothing there that's like jumping out at me as fluffy and fun, except for the Snotlings. The Snotlings are jumping out as like, oh, they're fun. I like them.
But all the fluff and fun is in Team England, which we're about to look at now.
The spicy team.
So yeah, this is the spicy team. So we got Tom and his Beastmen. So I'm expecting absolute shenanigans and filth off this list, and he doesn't disappoint. That just looking at it, it just hurts my eyes. It's
double harpies as well, like for the baggage trains and artillery hunting. Like they're going to be really solid. Like it's got loads of objective scoring, like ambushing.
All of the Vermintide.
It's all the Vermintide, of course, because what else would it be?
All of them.
He doesn't have Kralmaw in there, and so he's really leaning into just having his own Vermintide casters as opposed to using Kralmaw as a little caster. I suppose it does make sense. Kralmaw is a little bit limiting in himself. Like he's very good, but I suppose you're relying on him using his little familiar thing to go and cast magic from. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know how this list works, I'm pretty sure him and Richie talk about it on
I think they did,
it's pretty much. So if you want to know the ins and outs of Tom's list, go and check out Down After Dark channel.
I'm just hoping that Tom goes as hard as he did with his Cathay last year. He had his Cathay balloons were all flying turtles, and they were all mounted by the Dragon Ball Z characters. He had Goku, and it was really funny because I didn't notice Krillin was there because he was just like this circular disc on the top of the thing's head. I thought it was like a halo. It's actually him doing his little like spinning disc attack. It's really cool. Yeah, so it's a really cool army. I hope he's done like the effort in, and that's a really cool looking army too because it'll look great. Who knows? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll be good. And then we got Scott with his Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
Surprise. So, yeah. how many's in there? Let me see.
I saw he's already got his army packed in its little travel case. He's all good to go.
Did see
he's
that.
locked in now.
Yeah, that's him. Bit early, but he's done.
Bit early.
Some of us are still painting our armies.
40 Tomb Guard. What kills 40 Tomb Guard in the game?
Very little.
Very little.
Yeah, very little. Very, very little. Is this the same? No, this isn't the list of the 2 piplets, is it? No.
I don't believe so.
No, he's got 3 units of carrion. Interesting.
3 units carrion, so they're going to be good for just going around the back and doing stuff. I think carrion are big enough at size 3 to hunt baggage trains, are they? Or are they too small still?
They are indeed, yeah. Yeah, they are.
What's their unit strength, 2?
I think they're 2 each.
Carrion. Let's find out. Yeah, if they can go for baggage trains, like honestly, the baggage train hunting makes loads of sense. I know, like we'll get to it in a minute, but it was one thing when we were looking at the lists on making sure there's a way to go and hunt it. Yeah, monstrous infantry troop types, so they're US 3 each.
Necro 10.
They're pretty solid. Unit strength 10. So you got to kill 3 of them or 2 of them to get them down to not hunt a baggage train. That is quite good.
Yeah, it's really cool. But like Scott's a fantastic player, so you should expect nothing less from him, really.
Yeah, Feldbat Master Race. Look at that. Stuart said right. Versus the operative word on the Beastmen army. I mean, if you're reading the Gotthard Felix books, I know you're a fan of them. The Beastmen in that are just disgusting. So I'm kind of hoping maybe he really leans into that. Like you got ones with fish heads and stuff. Like they're really awful. They
are really cool. I want to do my Nausicaa army, but then I'm really torn because I really would love to do Beastmen army. Yeah.
I mean, like Great War of Chaos in Prague, do both.
Well, there is that rumored Arcane Journal that's meant to be coming with both of them in the same army.
I would fully expect they do, because like in the lore, narratively, you have Beastmen and Chaos Warriors together.
Yeah, it would make sense. And it's an easy 17 quid for GW to make.
Absolutely.
So
free money.
So all Cathay players, I'm going to apologise on behalf of Stephen now when your army gets nerfed in the summer. This
all
is the reason why.
Going forward.
This is absolutely horrendous. All the shugs and 3 cannons. So you know what his army wants to do. When I seen it, I was just like, wow, okay. Right, okay. Yeah.
But here's the thing. The shugs are level 1s. There's only 1 level 3. So their casting value is very low compared to other armies. Like look at the Beastman army we were just talking about there, where the casting value can get up to +4.
Yeah, but you've also got to remember that those shugs generals are basically giving that level 2 and the level 3 lords.
They got +1, right?
Yeah, with the elemental winds. Now he can only do that once per turn, but he's doing it in his turn and your turn to be able to do it. So double. Although he's only got 1 illusion, so the Monkey King is pretty much going to be hunting for Doppelganger, and then battle magic across everything else. This is scary because like they're incredibly fast, and there's 5 of them coming at you, and you're not going to be able to kill all 5 of them straight away. So
no, there's no way you kill 5 unless you are extremely lucky with double cannons, like say rolling 6 cannon shots in. You get very lucky, but like I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, but yeah, like I would be highly surprised if GW don't FAQ Shikengans in the summer.
Well, the baked in 5-up ward really helps them here, right? Because that's what's going to keep them alive. They're not that tough. Heavy. T5, they're heavy armor only. They're relying very much on.
Well, they've got the Longmord does give them, I think it's the
+1 as well, does it?
Yeah, the +2 for the hide or something. Yeah, so they do have a 3-up save and a 5-up ward save. So they're not
like
bad.
This list just hates Ushabti. This list just hates it.
Ushabti, those 19 and 18 Ushabti will giggle if they see this.
Yeah.
And then
if you let that happen while pairing, you've really fucked the pooch. Like, because this is going to be so bad for you. Oh god.
But yeah, this is the extreme end of the Cathay lists.
Like again, we talk about team tournament, the big difference between it and playing solos, and I think this list is a perfect example of this. I think if you took this to a tournament scene, that's just solos. Something is going to come along that'll just take it off the table. Like something will come along in that weekend that'll take it off the table.
Your list would do.
I have a very good shot against it. Yeah.
because those cannons can't do. They don't.
They can if they get the shots in and don't fluff it and don't roll a 1 for the damage. Like there's a lot of ifs with my cannons, but if they do get in and do it, they can kill stuff.
It's how many cannons you kill yourself.
Exactly. How many cannons we killed along the way? They're the real friends we made.
Yeah, I've killed countless of my cannons. But yeah, I like it. It's really cool. It has all of the tools. And it's just it's going to be incredibly scary if it coming at you.
It might be quite similar to how we were talking about the high elf list in Team Scotland.
Yeah,
that it's quite similar. That it's going to really full send
and
just try and do its damage early on, because it's quite a bit of a glass hammer again. Like the Shug Lords, while they've got good output, they're very fragile compared to other things in the game. Jade Lancers, you lose a couple of them and now they're not scoring. The Jade Warriors, similarly, there's only 16 there. It's not the biggest unit in the world.
Yeah.
There is absolutely some chance here for this list to send in the Shugs, get a little unlucky on a couple of rolls out, and then just kind of sit down,
Yeah, if you can dent them early on, then this list loses all its momentum.
Yeah, to some degree for sure. But like at the same time as well, battle magic on everything was quite good. You're looking at a lot of magic coming out of that. And like because they're only level 1s, it makes sense to be kind of leaning into taking level 1s with battle magic as opposed to going for illusion. Because if you don't get any damaging things out in illusion, then what was the point? Whereas with battle magic, you can kind of rely on it a bit better. Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. It's giving me ideas for the GT in April. And then we've got Keith with his vampire counts again. Although we got Fellbats this time. We got 2 Mortis engines, Helm of Command, 2 Banshees as standard, 2 the big unit Graveguard.
Yeah, Graveguard unit makes sense. Like, just take the big Graveguard unit. It's very hard to deal with. I don't think any vampire player hasn't taken the Graveguard block.
No. I can't imagine they would not take it.
Yeah, even like I don't think I've seen one at 30 or so. This one's at 25. I don't think you'll see anyone decide to not take Graveguard because they're core. They're super solid. They can regen really easy. They kind of remind me. I don't know if you remember this back when Age of Sigmar 1 dropped, and there was the notion of use wounds for making it balance because there's no points. So I was like, cool. I just won't take any skeletons. I'll just take all Graveguard because they're all wounds.
That first 12 months of the game was such a great time. Oh, it was like the wild west of wargaming. It was so funny.
Like that was the kind of point where you take a unit of 6 or like 30 or so Graveguard purely because they were the same wounds cost as a unit of 30 skeletons or zombies.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
During that period, I was running my Stormcast with 30 Retribution Paladins with Warhammers. It's just like, I can do this because there's nothing to say I can't.
The old classic models from them. I think they were great.
4 Star Maces for the lols.
Yeah.
Good times.
My dad was running that too. He was very pleased with himself.
And then we have Richie's dwarf list. So I'm surprised. I thought he would be bringing the Slayer host.
Yes, same. Like he was talking it up so much.
Exactly,
I was really expecting to see just
very
the Goblin Hero meta. Yeah, no, not today. I love this list. He's gone in a different direction to the way that some of the lists have gone. You saw in Team Scotland, they leaned quite heavily into scout gyros and gyrocopters. I have gone middle of the road, which is I'm leaning into the scout gyros only and just saying no to the gyros. Richie has gone very much into the infantry blocks, which perfectly sensible. They're very sturdy. They're very hard to get through. You've got your sappers out there to get them entrenched. 20 Rangers, my wild take now is I am not a big fan of the 20 Rangers, and I know people were playing them in lines of 30 and stuff, and I always thought that was mad. Purely because I thought a unit of 30 is going to be so static in its maneuvering, it's not going to do that much. Sure, they could do skirmish, whatever, but like they're really not going to do much. Units of 20, I can see the sense in them a lot more. You'd keep them in the ranked formations so they don't get destroyed by stuff, but then you're losing the ability to get entrenched on all flanks, which is a shame. I don't know. I think that little bit smaller units, 15, 16, is kind of as big as I want my Rangers to go, purely for when they're at 15, 16, I am confident enough that I can put them into skirmish formation. And at absolute worst, I might lose 2 or so to a charge. Now I'm losing attacks out. My output's going down a little bit because obviously I can't get all my line of sights out if I don't go in a straight line or the like. But if there's a large target, you do get Elinocytes. So
Yeah.
if they're in a blob against large targets, they're safe from all sides. They're still going to get to rank up as needed. I don't know. It's one of those ones I probably need to play a couple more games with the larger blocks of Rangers. But from having an own physical limitation of I only have 32 metal Rangers, and I was going to take 2 units for scoring objectively when there's 3 objectives. Yeah, that's just the main reason I took them as I did. I'm looking forward to seeing this game. Obviously, Richie he has secret dwarf tech. You know, he's got the runesmiths deep in the halls to talk to. So,
but he is an actual dwarf himself. So
he is an actual dwarf. Yeah,
yeah,
that is like the truth of it. Yeah,
yep.
It's a great list. You know, like very similar to what we were talking about before. It's got dwarf cannons. If they can get their shots off, they can do lots of damage. Your runesmiths are fantastic. I'm a big fan of the runesmiths as well. Mastering the Cam and spellbreaking is brilliant. That's going to keep the units with high MR to deal with all the magic shooting lists. They're very solid. Sappers as well. Like, I love sappers. Big fan of sappers. And again, like Richie was the one who was saying that he rated the concussion guns quite a lot. I didn't quite believe it until I gave him a whack, and I'm fully on board with them as well. Like, concussion guns are absolutely.
I think the concept is cool. I just don't like being on the receiving end of them.
No one likes having their cool unit just turn stupid for a turn. Like I got Paddy with this when he had his wizard running out by himself. Yeah, I did your balloon. That was funny. I got Paddy with his wizard general at one point. His general was kind of like standing in a field by himself and just popped him with a concussion gun, just left him standing stupid for a turn. It was great. Big fan.
Oh, Richie says until they're charged was covered in the newest.
This is Stuart's taking a pish with us. Because skirms don't have facings, so they can never have entrenched. No, they always have facings. They always face forward.
Stuart, stop trolling in my chat. And then we got James with his high elves.
One last thing on Richie's list real quick. The 2 gyrocopters. Such a good idea. Such a good idea for baggage train stealers. Because you have a little unit that's got T5 in full plate. That's just going to be really hard to pip early. I can just go hunt the baggage trains. I think that was a clever idea. When I first saw them, I was like, they're not scout gyros. Why would you take scout gyros? And it is purely that their job is just to go take baggage trains. That's all they're there for.
It's almost like he knows what he's doing. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, like if you took scout gyros, they're a little faster and they have better shooting, but they're much more vulnerable to going down. And because he doesn't have any other gyros, absolutely, just take standard gyrocopters, make them a little bit more sturdy, get them in and try to take out that baggage train. Yeah, for sure. Right, we're done. We're done dwarf chat.
We are off the dwarfs, onto the high elves. We've pretty much seen this list already.
It's very similar.
Very similar to what we've had before.
I think this one, double star dragons again. Trace and Trace. Like he's got some.
It's pretty much identical.
It's pretty much identical. I think he's got more sisters in one unit. The other list was a bit more balanced between the two. This one is leaning heavily into one of the lists or one of the units. Yeah, like Trace and Woodsman are really good.
I like it.
It's just a really solid unit. Yeah, I think this is going to do quite similar as we said before. It's a bit glass hammery, so it's going to send in those dragons nice and early, do lots of damage. It's got shooting across the whole army, which is fantastic for dealing out damage. It's just a good list.
All right, okay, let's talk about this. Because
here we go. This is the real spice.
We're only going to encourage him. Right. Dave, what were you thinking?
The literal guess.
It's like, how many fanatics can I get in an army and make it legal?
It's a fantastic list. I just think it's so much fun. And it's going to be hard to deal with because that's a lot of fanatics, and it's a lot of bodies too. Like he's got a load of bodies to get onto the objective. He's got his night goblins to keep them in order, like his big bosses to keep them in order. Like plenty of magic to show them the wizards. Like this is a fun list.
It's super scary. Like,
do you think that these lists are specifically in the game though to counter out the shug lists? Because that's my read from it, is that this list really, really counters out the shugs. They don't want to.
I mean, if you put a full set list into this, it's going to be absolute carnage.
And like full set shugs, high elves, monster mash lists, they go into this, they're going to have a really, really bad time. And unless they can get lucky and terror out stuff, I don't think there's any terror protection from this list.
Because you can't bait fanatics out anymore, can you?
You can't bait them.
The
so
player
chooses
to do it. Yeah. I mean, back in the old days when I played fantasy, like when I run orcs and goblins, like this would be hilarious because you would have to get close to bait them out. But triggering it themselves is.
And I believe it's at the start of any phase. Like the wording on it is very specific that they can do it whenever they want.
Yeah.
which is very, very strong. Like it can be in any of the phase. Not placing it. When a Fanatic is... Yeah, instead, make another Witch Goblin units of the Fanatics. These units refer to concealing units, whatever. Concealing unit may release one of its Fanatics during the start of turn subphase. Any start of turn for subphase. Yeah. Really solid.
Yes, it's just... well...
I do love that they don't work into Entrenched. That's the only thing that makes me feel good about this list, is that into Entrenched, they immediately hit low linear obstacle and are considered to have died. So they can't go into an Entrenched unit.
He lies. He lies.
I know it's been comific and everything. It doesn't work against if the unit is using Earthen Ramparts, because Earthen Ramparts LLO only works if they're in combat. Yeah. So if they're not in combat and then Fanatics go in, the Fanatics just tear through them. But into a unit that has Entrenched, the Goblin Fanatics don't work. But like this list doesn't really want to go into X-Force anyway. It really wants to go into full send lists.
I don't want to go anywhere near this. I can't. Yeah, my Shugs would cry. That's not very nice.
Shugs would cry. Like, this is a lot of Fanatics, and there's a couple lists where I'm like, wow, would the Fanatics be able to do the damage to a unit of, Graveguard? I kind of feel like they could. Maybe I'm just like, I'm hoping that this is a way of just dealing with the Graveguard, but I think maybe Fanatics are one of the ways to do it.
All I'm hoping is when we're playing the game is to look over and watch the Fanatics go backwards through his army.
Of course.
And then I'll be
straight
like,
back and into their own units. As they
proper Orcs and Goblin play. But yeah, it's a funny list.
I don't know if you know Rob Kelly. He's one of the Irish lads. Yeah, phenomenal painter. Absolutely beautiful painter. And he's a classic Orc and Goblin player. Like, he's hilarious. But we were playing early on when the game came out, and he put out a unit of Fanatics directly in front of his Black Orcs. And they went straight through my Longbeards, fucking pasted me, did so much damage, and then came right back and went through his Black Orcs and pasted them as well.
Yeah,
absolute memes. Yeah, it was so good.
We don't care. They only hit 4-point goblins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair.
Those goblins
no
were
Black
made
Orcs units. Everyone knows they were magic. Yeah, it's a really fun looking list.
I'm delighted to see Orcs and Goblins in like a competitive team tournament list without just being kind of memey. Like, this has a sensible position. It is counter full send lists. It's going to deal with stuff that's kind of got mid toughness quite easily. Like, it's a solid list. I think if I had gone full into Royal Clans to try and just hold the middle board objectives, this list would have just absolutely pasted me. Just going to go straight through all my stuff.
Pretty much every team has an Orc and Goblins, apart from us.
This list, I think, actually also goes really well into Viletide lists, Viletide spams, because it has the bodies to kind of soak a lot of the Viletide and not give a shit. Yeah. And at the exact same time, there's enough wizards to try stop some of them, and then dealing with the T4 gores and stuff, just send in the goblins.
And then we got Jack's Bretonian Exiles list. So again, shooty Bretonians with a peg star, and it's almost identical to the other list.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. I think that these lists, they're going to be very good at just scoring objectively as well. Like, they can move up those peasants, get them onto the objective backboard. Like, having the yeoman be so quick is going to be very good for early game score. And then, the big threat here is the peg star. You have to go deal with it. You have to do something about the Pegasus star. I don't know though if Bretonia are as threatening as they were in the past. Losing the big Pegasus Baron definitely hurt them a lot, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot more Green Knight these days, because the points in the heroes are now available to go onto the Green Knight. And I suppose for Six Nations specifically, there's no comp on Green Knight charging after showing up, so he's free to just do as he likes when he shows up.
Hopefully, GW will address him in the summer FAQ. Probably not.
If I know anything, they'll say he is perfectly allowed to do so.
I have theories of reasons why we're not getting a substantial FAQ, but that's because second edition is coming.
I'm interested about second edition too. Maybe we should have another chat about this another time, because I know we're rambling a wee bit, but definitely think that the Green Knight, I think he's as intended. The only thing not intended is that he doesn't lose the points after dying.
Yes,
that's the only part I'd say is really a problem for me with the Green Knight. Is not losing the points after death means that's just a tenth of your points in a standard 2,000 point game, more than a tenth of your points that you can't get off your opponent unless they get unlucky. That kind of just feels bad.
So jumping into France, we have Nicholas's with his Beastman army. again, Wild Herd, so all the Valtide, got some Harpies, 53 Gore Herd with additional weapons, great weapons.
That's a block. That's a block.
Well, that's pretty much, yeah, then you're going to have what? 1, 2, 3
Monster Hunter
Shamans,
Tapestry
4.
is only to the front, isn't it?
Which one's that one?
Monster Hunter Tapestry is the no stomp banner.
I believe so.
Let's see. Stomp attacks against unit. No, any unit. Oh my god, that is so good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's bullshit. That's so good. Yeah, that's really, really strong.
So there'll be a beast load in there. There's a.
So I was thinking the vulnerability to this list might be
bear.
Because it's so one unit, so bulked out. If you were to get a dragon on one side and a dragon on the other, then it has to face one of them. It's going to get charged in the back, and then maybe no stomp. But now that works all around. That's so strong.
Yeah, that's just a massive block of bodies.
It is a massive block.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that. And then we have
4 players having to read rules that they're never going to take because 1, we don't have monsters. 2, we can't take banners.
What's this magic you speak of?
What's magic? I don't know.
And then we have the
Bretonnians. No stomps when Dragon Ogres. Yep, love them. Is that just a Shark Talk though? It's just a single Dragon Ogre guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a solid list. It's an interesting list. Yeah, like it's a big block of boys, and then kind of small blocks for everything else. I think objectively, it's very much lynching onto the fact that you're just going to hold that center board all game long and be very hard to shift. Like how do you really get through 53 Gore Herds? Not an easy job.
Kill everything around it.
Yeah, probably. Kill everything around it. Yeah, got lots of Valtide too, though. It's a solid list. It's
almost like Beastmen, Wild Herd are the best army in the game.
I don't know if they're the best. They're very good, though. Again, there is stuff that counters them. I think, like as you saw with Wales taking a magic wagon, I think the anti-magic wagons and anti-magic stuff might become more prevalent as low-level casters who have a very powerful spell looking for dice rolls to get it off. If you have something that makes that dice chance much worse, the odds of them getting it, is way worse. The value of that list goes down a lot. So, like, if this list goes into a army with lots of MR, I'm not sure it'll do so well. So maybe that's the counter we might start seeing come into the team's meta. If they know there's going to be a Bray Shannon list, then maybe take an anti-magic Empire list, or Dwarves always been good at it. So
it would be nice to see.
Who knows? Guess we won't see.
The Bretonnian list again got a nice big peg star. A big block of 30 Yeomanry Guard. Pretty cool.
I love Yeoman Guard. I think they're so good. As I said earlier, and it makes me very sad, I think the Yeoman Guard might be my favorite infantry unit in the game. Just because for 30 Yeoman Guard, with the Warden, Grail Monk, Standard Bearer, everything else, is 175 points. The value there is fantastic. They're really, really solid.
And it's got the 2 cannons, because, pew pew.
I mean, again, like I said earlier, bombards are great.
Yeah. But these, the Knights of the Realm are on foot rather than mounted this time. So, and then, everything else is pretty much what we've seen before.
Yeah, I think you're taking those Knights of the Realm purely for their minimum value cost.
I think you have to take a unit of them.
A unit of Knights of the Realm, yeah.
So, it's pretty much what you expect from a Bretonnian Exiles list.
Yeah, it's really capitalizing its value in its heroes and in the guard unit and stuff. Like, that's going to be really solid. And then Pegs Knights are really solid.
I like the fact that it's got 2 Outcast Wizards. So
he does,
one on a horse and one on foot. So one of them on foot I would expect to see in that unit of Knights.
Probably.
And then the other one riding around.
Probably not in the unit of Knights. One on foot's probably going to go in with the Yeoman.
Oh, yeah, potentially, yeah.
Like,
he will be able to, because he can do that. Because he won't be bound by the chivalry thing that the Knights have.
No, he's not. He's an outcast.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, we're going to France's Shug lists.
Oh, it's going to be a Shug list. It is a Shug list. So, again, 4 Shugs. A Sky Lantern with only 2 cannons. 2 5-man Jade Warrior units with drilled and detachment. Well, they get that anyway, so they haven't added that. That's just a standard rule for them. And then 13 Jade Warriors with shields.
So are they just there to countercharge a unit that's trying to charge the Jade Warriors? What's their connection there with attachment?
I'm not. Well, the Jade Warriors come with attachment as a standard rule anyway.
What are they attached to, though?
I don't know. unless it's just that. However, they brought the list over, they've added that. But this unit of 13 Jade Warriors has the detachment rule.
Yeah. So basically, the unit of 13 is going to have these 2 lads underneath it as detachments. So if you charge it in the front, you get flank charged by them.
But what if that's the case? Then why not give them halberds?
I don't know.
I mean, because that would be better than using the sword and board.
Obviously, France has some fun tech here that we're just not reading out.
I mean, your 2 unit of lancers ambushing Jade Banner. I mean, this is what confuses me when I've seen this. You've got this Jade Banner on one of the worst units in the army, where I would have probably have put that in with the 13 Warriors.
Yeah.
Because like the 13 Warriors have got more survivability than the Jade Lancers. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he's doing it and what he's going to do, because there's definitely
a bit of weirdness there. I think the Lancers might be relying on being late arrivers to the game more than actually being on the table early on, because again, they're not, as you said, they're not that survivable. They're quite expensive points wise, but they could just be off the table for a couple turns and then come in when needed.
Yeah, but that's the only banner he has in the entire army.
Like that would be the only reason you take the that's the only reason that you take the balloon as well, to get those guys in. Like, I know the crane guns are decent, but if you're looking to keep these guys off the field as well, it's going to help you keep them away.
Yeah, there is shenanigans with that.
Rolls any natural double making casting. Yeah, miscast. I mean, you could bring them in near the back, near your opponent's wizards. Like, this might be a good counter list into a slow vampires or Tomb Kings list that's keeping its wizards behind. Because you ambush in, move your unit up, and then Marshard is kicked off. Suddenly, a lot of the magic is a lot less reliable.
Yeah. I think that's probably a slight issue for me, is he's got the Lord of Yang and the Lord of Yin on both of the lords, which is good, which is, you want to do that, where the generals haven't done the same, and you would kind of want to, because essentially what I imagine is he's going to have each one of these generals following around with a lord to give them the +1 to cast. Especially for those illusions to get the doppelgangers off if he gets them. But it would be the extra yin and yang to lean into the elemental winds would be kind of, so I don't know if he's forgot to break these 2 out so they're different.
Yeah, so you might think that the 2 generals are yang and yang, and then the 2 guys are yin and yin.
Yeah, I mean, even doing what he's done there is fine, but I would have thought he would have done that with the generals as well, but because I think one of them will, I think the Lord of Yang or the Lord of Yin gives you the extra 3 inches on the enhancement spells, and then the Lord of Yin or the Lord of Yang does the 3 inches on this spelling. So if you have one at least with them, then you're spreading it out whenever you pop it off, because we're still going to be using the old table where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing that kind of threw me when I first read it, was like, why have you not done that? Because you're not paying points for it.
It's an interesting, again, this is the fun thing about playing with people from the continent and from Europe, is that they're very different in the meta that plays there. So we're starting to see there's still, meta lists in the way that they're constructed. This is what we'd expect to see. But it has little elements to it that you don't catch, because the way that it's played there, maybe there's something in the meta quite common that this works against.
Or it literally is that he just didn't realize, or hasn't.
Or he just didn't realize.
Or he hasn't really.
This is like we had a test game against Team Wales last year, and they forgot to put bows on their Ushabti.
Oh dear.
No, it was only a test game, so we let them have it. But our player who got paired in them was very unhappy. He was like, "Nah, they shouldn't have had bows. They're not allowed to have them."
But yeah, it's a solid list. It's it's what you expect. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he does with it, because there's some things here that are just like, oh, okay.
See,
don't
I
know
think
why
this
you've
list is
done that,
kind
but
of a bit
okay.
more full send than what you
Oh,
think.
it's
Because the
100%.
detachments don't count as being a part of the unit for unit strength, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just if you get charged, you're allowed to charge,
Yeah. So if they're
counter
not
charge.
counting
Yeah,
towards the unit strength of the Jade Warriors, because if they were, what the trick would be here is that that unit of 13 has 2 supplementary units of 5
yeah,
that it's using as spare wounds to increase the amount of unit strength it has on an objective.
yeah,
And that, in my mind, makes loads of sense. Because
yeah.
suddenly you have 2 separate units that are going to stand beside it, count as part of the unit, and get to count towards the unit strength of it. But if they don't get to count towards, then it just doesn't function very much.
This is what I wanted the new Iron Hail Gunners to do, but unfortunately they don't do it. So
Talking overworld, it's probably not any less drop than if you just put the 2 guys into the
that
unit of
just
13
means
and made it
it's
unit
really low
23.
drop rammy, right? Well, I don't know because well,
If you
he's
just
got
put that
what
2
one,
sets of guys, though,
two,
into the unit of 23, then
one,
it's the same
two,
drop.
3, 4. Yeah, maybe. But then he'll probably scout the Sky Lantern and lose the +1 he's getting anyway.
Yeah,
So it's I don't know. This there's a lot of things in here that's just throwing me. It's like I don't get it.
I don't
That's
get it.
why
Steel's heavier than feathers.
yep. I'm just interested to see what he does with it. And then we got Orcs and Goblins from Nicholas, which should be quite interesting.
A very, very similar list to what we saw out of Dave Bruce's list.
Yeah.
Once again, lots
But
of
he has
orcs,
squig
lots of
hoppers.
goblins, lots of fanatics. Yeah.
Not a
Squig hoppers I'm a
type.
big fan of. I love squig hoppers.
Those,
They catch people out every time, especially people who forget that you don't get stand and shoot against them.
yes.
So these are fantastic. If this list is dealing with X-Force and stuff like that, squig hoppers in first, disable the entrenching, and then you get to go in with your fanatics and stuff. Like there is some tech here. Now they have to win the combat, so if the squig hoppers just lose, then too bad. But if they can do enough damage to cause the unit to have to take a break test, even if it's just give ground, that's enough then to let the fanatics in.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm really liking it. But no snotlings. So
no snotlings, so negative 10 points straight away.
Doesn't win because there's no snotlings. And then we've got a expedition.
This is the double wyvern list though, so there is 2 wyverns in there as well, which is really fun.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Distraction wyverns,
yeah.
And then those super accurate Doom Divers, which will be just horrible. And then
so
with
this list I find is quite fun because it's very close. So if you take the other X-Force lists and were to bash them into the most average of the different lists that have been taken, it's this list. This list does everything the other lists are doing to some different degree. So it's got the steam gun gyros to deal with hordes. It's got the cannons to do with big stuff. The scout gyros, because scout gyros are just good. They can go hunt baggage trains. They can do some shooting. They're a decent unit. And then it's got the blocks of rangers to hold objectively. Now, it doesn't have a big block of thunderers, which means that Burlock Damson is not giving as much value as he could be. That's the one thing I'd say is kind of missing.
Yeah.
Because Burlock really doesn't work with Rangers at all. Like his abilities trigger specifically into Thunderers and Quarrelers. They don't trigger into Rangers. So he can still, be a part of the unit and he can still entrench a unit at the start of the game. But I just don't think he's really adding a lot of value to the Rangers. He's leadership 10. That's what he's doing. Ultimately, he's just being leadership 10, which is in itself very good. For 85 points, a leadership 10 general, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. But you still got a sapper per ranger unit.
Yep. Both with concussion force.
Yeah. Cannons. And 2 rune priests. So yeah, it's a nice list. I like this one.
It's good. It's going to be good at dealing with magic shooters. That's one of the things that you're going to see a lot of that. I think it's very good.
Yeah. Now this list, I have gone through this list so much and trying to work out what that demon prince is for.
Yes.
It's
Words Gus. This is a shooting Wolves of the Sea list.
Yeah, so much ambushing list in it as well. I mean, I like the skin wolves. Personally, I'd have it in a unit 6. Shaggoth, awesome. It's really good to see that thing back on the table. Dragon Ogre, loads of berserkers, cool. Marauders, again, like I'm pretty sure they're not. Well, they've got the +1 toughness for the from the Nurgle thing, but it's like It's the Demon Prince really threw me because there's a big dragon which is cool, but it's like, why is there a Demon Prince?
Demon Prince, level 4 wizard, battle magic, Trailblazer's Hallberg.
But he can't hide.
He can't go into units.
He can't go into units.
Spot.
He can't stand behind a unit and hide.
Well, he can stand behind the dragon.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, go ahead, let him.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's I don't know.
He does have Infernal Puppet off, which is very, very good. I fucking hate Infernal Puppet. So that is very tasty.
Yeah,
Marauder Horsemen flails. Flails are good. Marauder Tribesmen, good.
Yeah, but they're all ambushing.
Yeah, they are ambushing now. Whether they do it or not, maybe not.
I still say I would have put that in a big unit of 6. I like skin wolves. I'm kind of looking at getting at least 12 of them for my own army, and 2 giant spawn.
So, Talking Old World is mentioning that the Demon Prince will get lone character while being near the other units.
Does he? I suppose, yeah. Well, he's not a monstrous thingy, is he?
I don't believe so. No.
Because
you got to remember that the Demon Princes in this aren't the Age of Sigmar ones that are fucking huge. They're meant to be like the old metal ones on the 50mm by 50mm bases. So they're meant to be a little small.
Yeah.
Demon Prince, Demons of Chaos. He's monstrous infantry. Yeah, so he can't join skirmish units. He can't join the units anyway because he's got warp spawned, which is his limitation, isn't it? Doesn't let him into the unit. Infernal, Favor, Chaos, Armor, Demonic, isn't it? Warp spawned. Yeah, I can't join units that aren't warp spawned.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can hide near units if he gets behind them and stuff. He's not, like Stuart's saying, he's not a large target. He's just monsters infantry. Like, he is targetable by some stuff. I suppose my concern with him is that, things like a gyrocopter might be able to just get in behind and do damage to him. And then, like you say, a lucky cannon shot, it needs to land on the base, and his base is big. It's 50 by 50.
Yeah.
So, like, if a cannon is shooting at an angle into that base slide, there are potentially 3 things on the dice it can hit it with.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I really hope his model's really cool for it, though.
Oh yeah, that's the most important thing, right? Who cares as long as it looks awesome?
Yeah, but yeah, it's really cool. But that was, again, this is what there's so many of these little sort of quirks in the list that's kind of like, okay, what's that about?
This list, I'm very interested to see how it plays on the table. Like we were talking about the Wolves of the Seas list being quite strange. This one I think is going to be really fun. Obviously, it's going to start off by doing a challenge and probably going to send its Shartark in, or it has to be an infantry, doesn't it? It has to be a foot soldier infantry.
Yes, with 1 wound. So one of the Berserker champions.
Yeah, the head taker in the unit of 6 is probably it then.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Wolves of the Sea just as a fundamental list. I think they're really cool. I don't think we've seen them awfully in our community. Like I
don't think we've seen them in the north either. I know
they were played at the very start when they first
building mine.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely an army that I'll be leaning into after Six Nations.
I'm a fan of the army as well. Like I'm trying to think about a second army after I finally finish painting all of my dwarves. I'm still chipping through metal dwarves, but once I finish painting all of them, I am going to do a different army. I haven't decided what yet, but Wolves of the Sea maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's very different from Cathay, so
yeah, for sure. Honestly, I just want to get into something that can do some magic as well, so I can learn the rest of the game.
I just want an excuse for a dragon. A proper dragon, not a dragon that's just a girl that turns into one. But then we've got Tomb Kings in Mortuary Cult, 2 Casket of Souls, Screaming Catapult, nice. A unit of 6 of Shabdi, unit of 7. So yeah, Tomb Scorpions again popping up anywhere on the table. What Tomb Swarms are they? The ones with the little scarabs?
Yeah, these are what you put in front of your Shoot Shabdi, so that your Shoot Shabdi can shoot over them. Because the swarms themselves don't take up space, and they can be shot over. They don't, cause fear into a unit beside you, and they don't block line of sight. So you put these swarms directly in front of a unit, Shoot Shabdi, and then you can basically shoot from behind them. It's like free obstacles, basically, so that they can't be directly front charged. Now,
pretty much how those snatlings are going to be working.
Exactly how the snatlings are going to work. The snatlings are going to be in front of those. If those snatlings aren't in front of those ballistas, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah. No Tomb Guard at all.
No, a big block of 34 warriors. Now, this is Mort Cult as well. The other Mort Cult list also didn't have Tomb Guard. So there's probably, it's the lack of the Prince that makes you not to take it. Because the other lists, if you have the Necrotex and stuff, the Necrotex give you extra attacks into the end of the Tomb Guard. The value of that just goes up very quickly. It means that they're much more sturdy into combat. Because if they do get charged, they get the 2 ranks behind them, and then they're getting the extra attacks for the front rank. It's going to do a lot of damage back. And they're looking for cleave anyway, so...
Definitely.
It's a solid list. Again, this is a counter list. It's aiming to deal with specific stuff. The Skulls of the Foe, Screaming Skull Catapult, is a really interesting one to me because it is a large leadership debuff piece. So it's going to be a 2d6 leadership debuff around the center of where it lands. Like that's a fun additional take.
And then tie in the 2 Casket of Souls as well.
Exactly.
Under that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I
like that.
There's a nice bit of tech in there with that.
Yeah.
But I suppose at the same time, though, I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, for 10 points more, would I have had another Casket of Souls? You're probably not allowed to take more than 2, are you? But
no. But yeah,
it's cool. It's a good list. I'm probably more afraid of the Tomb Guard lists purely because they just have no effective way of dealing with Tomb Guard at all. And this is the least Ushabti, I think, that are being taken.
There's only the 2 units.
Yeah.
So,
but I think maybe we took less. I think we actually took less Ushabti in our list.
I think Dave's only got 2 units of 5. I think.
Yeah, he has got 2 units of 7. So I think we're just over it then by 1. Yeah. So this is the least Ushabti in the list.
Interesting. And then finally, we have some vampire cards.
Yeah.
Black Coach. Oh, well, it's cool. Black Coach and Hex Wraiths. Nice.
I like the double take, like having both of them. Do Black Coaches still do Nexus of Power? And I think they took that off, and that's only Mortis Engines now, isn't it?
Well, he has 2 Mortis
Engines. Way back when they used to do extra magic as well. They do a first charge, which is good. They're level 1 magical attacks. Is that what they're there for? Hex Wraiths don't have magical attacks, do they?
No. I think
they do. Yeah, so that's not it. Yeah, they're flaming and magical. I was just thinking, because why would you take one on maybe in a mirror match if Hex Wraiths didn't have magical attacks, they're flaming only? Then it makes loads of sense because a Black Coach could deal with Hex Wraiths, But that's not the case. These are magical attacks as well. So, nope.
Strange. But anyway, it's still pretty standard. But I do like this bottom part and the 3 Fellbats for baggage handling. Baggage cards.
Only 2 Necros in there. Both Mortis though. There's double Mortis list. Yeah. So a bit more Scream coming out of this than out of the other lists. Zombies, of course, getting all filled in. Fellbats to go steal objectives. Black Coach. I'm trying to see what the Black Coach does against Hex Wraiths that makes it a better pick. And the only kind of thing I can see is like maybe the first charge. Hex Wraiths don't have that.
Unless it was a points thing.
Unless it was a points thing, but I don't think there's that much points difference between them, is there? 223 versus 205 for 7 Hex Wraiths. You could just take 2 units of 5 Hex Wraiths and get them, I think.
Yeah.
It's a heavy chariot as well, though. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It is T6, but they're ethereal anyway. So, if it's trying to be ethereal and it's trying to get through stuff, yeah, I suppose if you're facing into X-Force with magic cannons, the Black Coach might be more survivable. Well, no, it's still 2s to wound. No, doesn't work. Good against the Thundergun Thane. Thundergun Thane stocks are dropping off so fast. 3 save, yeah, like it is T6. It is T6, and T6 is not something to laugh at. Like T6 is good. You get this thing in, it's going to do damage. I'm just not sure if I would be taking it over taking the Hex Wraiths, who are a little faster, they're a little bit more flexible. They don't have to decide to be corporeal or not corporeal. They can just stay ethereal the whole time. Like this thing has to make that decision every turn if it wants to do its impact D6 plus 2 hits, or does it just want to be ethereal? That's kind of an unfortunate choice to have to make. And closed order, so it doesn't get to do. It's okay. It's charity. It gets to do lumber and stuff. Yeah.
Well, these are our first round anyway, so we'll be seeing it this Saturday morning.
Yeah, like it's a solid list. Like I don't think you really lose much by taking a black coach in any way, shape, or form. It's also another cool model to put on the table, which in itself is a reason enough for me to want to take one.
Yep.
Like just to take a black coach because they're cool would be enough reason for me to want to take a black coach.
Definitely.
I think they're a really cool model. Yeah. Even the old metal ones. I had 2 old metal ones when I was a kid years ago. I built one of them, painted up, loved it. It was my favorite. And I got a second one, and I started to convert it to being a black coach that had been corporealizing and then got hit by a cannonball in the wheel. So the wheel was cracked off of it. It was kind of falling off its base because I wanted to show off the vampire in the back. So I kind of had him falling out of the back of it with the casket open. It was loads of fun. It's great.
I think there's so much they can do with a new plastic one for the.
I have the new plastic one. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's a pain in the hole to paint because you got to paint the whole thing in separate parts. Yeah, you can't paint it all at once because it's loads of fiddly bits sticking around itself. It's a great mini though. It's a great mini.
So finally, on to Italy. We have the Mortuary Cult list. Again, we've got high priest, 2 high priests, 2 mortuary priests, 2 necro serpents. They're the snaky things.
Yeah, necro serpents are the not righted ones. They're just the snake head ones with like the arms. Cool. The necro knights are the other ones.
A unit of 10 Shabdi. Wow. Okay.
Go big or go home.
That's making a statement. Again, 2 Stew Scorpions, 2 Casket Skulls. That little tech thing with the anti-leadership and then the Casket Souls. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The 10 Shabdi, my only real concern there is if you don't get a hill. Like, I know in Worlds, there's guarantees of stuff like this, like the terrain is a lot more locked in. If you don't get a hill with that unit, and your opponent hasn't got any large targets, you're going to really struggle to get the shooting out of them.
Yeah.
Because that's a big, big unit. You know, and there's nothing in the Tomb King's list that says pick a unit and give it an ability. It's always within range of. So it's like plus rerolling hit rolls of 1 within range of this, 18 inches or whatever it is. So there's nothing wrong with separating them out into 2 separate units. I suppose the only reason you keep them in the full 10 is that nothing is lifting that off the table. Like there's so little that can just take that off the table at a flat points level.
Yeah.
Because they can just regen them back every turn.
But you know fine well that it's going to be at least 2 of those priests that are going to be stuck on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just
keep them tanked up every single turn.
Exactly. But yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool. I like to see this thing again. It's kind of awesome.
They only have 2 units that can score objectively, though.
Yeah.
So they're really looking to lift. If they go into an army that is just a little bit sturdy and gets an early score off, they might really struggle to come back.
Definitely.
Like, I'm not sure I'd really like this list going into. I know it probably doesn't want to face into them anyway. Something like going into the vampire counts lists with zombies, into the beastman lists with lots of gores, there's a list actually the Italians have that I think is fantastic, and it makes me much more nervous than the other Bretonnian Exiles list. We'll get to it in a minute, but there's a lot of scoring in those list potential that I'm not sure this list can deal with.
I think I can score into this list.
Yeah, because you probably can, because you took a lot more Jaded Warriors than the other lists took. Like, quite similarly, I think I can score into it, at least for a while. Yeah. Like, my toughness will eventually break, because I don't have big blocks. Mine are only 15 at most. So, like, scoring for me will eventually end. But there is lists out there that have a lot more units. All the Goblin lists. The Goblin lists laugh at this, because they can just walk onto the objectives and, sure, yes, you're going to kill lots of Goblins, but they're going to score out the game.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It is a good list. I think just 10 Shabdi in 1 block is a lot of Shabdi in 1 block. But,
we have a flying carpet.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe
modeled.
Carpet. Does he have?
Be modeled.
He has illusion. Maybe TMP as well. Here's the plan.
I'm just hoping for a high priest flying around on a magic carpet model.
That's elementalism for travel mystical pathways. Do you have elementalism?
He does.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be trying to go for TMP with the flying carpet. Yeah, flying carpet TMP, teleport the 10 to where they need to be. That's the build. That's what's happening here.
Then we got vampire counts, Hexrace, Spirit Horse this time, loads of zombies, Crypt Ghouls, interesting. No Mortis engines, and 2 Banshees. Yeah, no Grave Guards.
No, it's a lot of zombies.
A lot of zombies.
But the zombies are
15
capped.
crypto.
You can't take more than X amount in a unit. What's that limit? Is it 60?
I think that was it not the event was capped at 80?
Well, that's for others. Unit zombies actually have their own limit cap. Yeah, unit size
Yeah.
40. So they can't go more than 40 on those. So he's going to try and get the first unit of 20 zombies up to 40.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be 3 units at 40, basically.
It's a horrible
4
top
units
hit.
at 40. Yeah.
And he's got a level 3 and a level 4. So he's only got 2 casters, though.
He's got 2 casters. They're going to go into the unit of 20 zombies to start the game off, get them up to as much as they can be, trying to get to 40. And then he's just got 120 zombies, or 160 zombies for you to deal with.
It's a pure tar pit.
It is a tar pit, total tar pit.
Yeah. I think out of all of the vampire count lists we've seen, this is not the most scariest one. The others are definitely a lot nastier.
Well, the others have a bit more scream out of them.
I just don't. Yeah, these things are going to be cool. I like cryptos.
The spirit hosts and hex rates and stuff, like, they're going to be good into some lists. And I think spirit hosts, if they cause terror, it might just be another terror spam build.
Yeah.
And like, that's not a bad call. Again, leadership checks are something that your opponents usually don't plan around.
Did you ship a baby?
No, they do not cause terror. And their spirit hosts are swarms, so you can see over them. So they don't block line of sight either.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, reserve move baked in, open order, magical attacks. They have magical attacks.
They can deal with other hexwraiths.
Yeah.
I would not want to see that vampire count list against this. It would just be zombies slapping each other in the middle of the table for like 6 turns.
Yeah, it's very much going to be who gets there first wins the game.
Yeah.
They're just going to put stuff behind each other's units, and then if ground doesn't happen and they don't go anywhere, and that's the game.
Have fun with that one.
Yeah.
Then we've got Bretonian Exiles, and this is mental.
Yeah, so no peg star here.
No.
Double field trebuchets, which is such a choice. It's such a good hippogriff.
This man wants to play Empire. This guy just wants to play Empire. Just play Empire, dude.
If he shows up in his army as an Empire army and he's just put the French flags on instead, I will be fully for it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I think that this is a very good list in that the yeomen at arms are going to be very difficult to just take away from the objective scoring if they can go first.
Yeah.
Now, it's classic Bretonia, so if he doesn't want the favor of the lady, oh no, they're exiles as well. They're exiles, yeah. No, you just fucking walk them up. Double bombards, field trebuchet. Yeah, it's a shooty list.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool list.
Yeah.
I kind of like that he hasn't gone in for the beg star and he's just going for a big monster instead. Like, rather than dealing with, 2 barons and a peg star, he just said, I'll just take a hippogriff that'll do as much when it needs to. And that hippogriff is a great counter into other peg stars.
Yeah. For me, this is a proper Bretonian Exiles list.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
It's not a Bretonian list masking as an Exiles list. But, I like it.
It's got the bombard, it's got the brigands to come in and steal your objectives, or your baggage train late game.
Yeah.
Realms on foot, Exile Vow, Charm Shield, so he's going to be good for the challenge. Yeah, it's
very cool. Very, very cool. And then we have a Empire. So they've got another Empire army coming with them. So 2 captains, engineers, master mages, 3 of them, witch hunters, cool. State troops, outriders, cannons, and then Empire road wardens. So they've got a couple of traffic wardens with them.
This is a center cannon army with 2 big flanks of outriders. So they're just going to go stand as close as they can while being effective with shooting and just line down fire. Like, that's what this is doing. It's going to do it really well. The road wardens as well. They're not a bad unit in any way, shape, or form, especially getting in for ambushing at the back, getting the baggage trains and stuff. They're going to be really good.
Yeah. I just love the 2 witch hunters.
He's got 13 outriders, 14 outriders, 14 outriders, 15 state riders. A lot of outriders.
Yeah. They just didn't work in my list at all.
They don't work brilliantly in Jade Fleet. Like they're not
No.
terrible, just not as good as other things you could be taking. You know,
Yeah.
I think the only real thing in the Jade Fleet that you're taking from the Empire is the captain. And
Yeah.
unless maybe there's some weird magic resistance tech in there for the counter Cathay Shug build.
You can
War
put
Altar?
you can bring some priests and put them into your Jade Warriors or your mount. Well, you could obviously put a captain on a war horse and put him in your Jade Lancers and get first charge back.
Well, that's the classic tech is take a first charge back into the unit.
But but what that also does, and I think a lot of people forget this, is that because you're within 3 inches of a mercenary unit, you're getting to reroll ones to hit, and it's something that no one really ever talks about, which is for Jade Fleet,
right?
Which is kind of cool. But I don't think you'll ever really see a full sort of mixed bag of Empire heroes scattered through the Cathay army.
No, I don't think you will. I was thinking though, is there any world where you could take a priest of Sigmar on a war altar and get the -2 to casting 18-inch bubble around him?
No, I don't think
12-inch bubble actually. You wouldn't get
I know you can. I think you can take the priest, but I don't know if they get access to the war altar.
That spell's built into him. That's a part of the war altar.
Yeah.
If you can't take the war altar, then
I think it's only the ones on foot or on a horsey that you can take.
That's a shame.
But yeah, it would be kind of funny. And then we have Francesco's Beastman, which again is probably going to be Wild Herd.
It's very similar to what we've seen before. Yeah. This one is Bray Herds, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not Wild Herd, it is Bray Herds, which is a little interesting.
Primal
I'm not entirely sure why you wouldn't take it as Wild Herds, but...
Lots of demonology.
Lots of demonology, loads of wizards. They're going to be Valtide. That's what they care about.
Yeah.
And harpies. Slug skin. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Got the war gore to make the big gore herds very stable. That's going to be really hard units to crack. Like 40 war gore herd, 40 primal war herds, 2 units of 12 warhounds. Like that's a lot of stuff to score with. Then the Ungor herds as well. Like pretty much everything in this army by the harpies is objectively scoring, which is very solid.
Yeah, it's pretty scary looking. And then we've got their Grand Cathay army, which is I like. It's only got 3 cannons, 2 balloons, gunpowder bombs, cool, anti-charging. I like it. 14 Jade Warriors, and then 2 units of Lancers, and then 2 Shugs.
What I can't understand in this list is where all the points are. Like it feels like there's not enough points here for what he's taking.
he's got 30 points on those lantern bombs.
Yeah.
Straight away, which is total. I think he's the only person that's actually paid for it for the whole event.
He is.
I'm loving how he's done his cannons because I do mine the exact same way. Stubborn Officer, Golden Lion, interesting. Okay. And then Icon of Fury, Ring of Jet, Totem of Wrath. Okay, regen on the Shug Lord, cool. With the Law Familiar, and then a Monkey King. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a slightly different take, but there's a scary amount of shooting on this list. But to bring to fire those bombs off, he's going to be trying to get really close. And now the fact that you're no longer unbreakable and you're now at toughness 4.
He might not be trying to get close with them and might be using those lantern bombs to stay back and defend his baggage train. And if you try to come get them with something sneaky, he'll just bomb you with the lantern bombs.
Yeah.
Because they will very easily, if they get a good hit off, lift whatever's trying to get in.
That's a gamble.
It is a gamble.
It's only one use, and if he rolls a 1, he's hurting himself.
And they still have the crane guns to shoot with. So
true. I like it, but some interesting choices. I think it's kind of cool.
I'm kind of with you on this. That the second unit of Lancers. I don't know. I mean, I probably would have dropped it and gone for more Jade Warriors and had the 2 blocks of Jades, or leaned into the Lancers being very effective and just make them as good as I can get them.
Yeah, I just don't think you can make Jade Lancers good. I, I just don't. I think the designers who designed the models did an amazing job. They're absolutely beautiful models. Then they gave them heavy cavalry, and then they made them basically light cavalry, rules wise. And it's like,
yeah, they're still expensive enough. Like 147 for 5 is they're drilled in Ring of Jet, but
there's always hoping that they'll fix them in second edition. But it's a cool list. There's some really cool stuff in here. Really interested the fact that he's probably the only person that's brought the Jade Blade on a Shigengan. But yeah, pretty cool. And then we've got Warriors of Chaos.
This is infinite magic casting. Yeah. This is the Zap list. Yeah.
2 giant spawns, 27 Chaos Warriors with a markings each. Awesome. 2 units of Marauders, and then all of the Wizards.
Yeah, this is a lot of casting cool. That it's going to do. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like this list. I think it's one of those lists that because it has level 1 Wizards, they're going to be in a unit that try to get the level 1 up to level 2, so they're going to be casting +2 to cast. Do they have any other tech to get them higher casting beyond just being Zeech in a unit of Zeech?
Don't know. Can you increase with the favor of the gods?
I don't believe so.
No, and it's only on.
So. No, because if you could, then the favors could keep rolling. You could just get loads. Plus cast would be way too much.
Yeah.
Because toughness goes up through the roof with these guys getting high toughness, extra attacks. They get really strong.
Yeah.
No. Oh, the skull. That's it. The Skull of Catan. Skull of Catan's plus casting.
Okay.
Yes. Ooh. So they are +2 to cast. Yeah, that's it. So any other wizard within 3-inch friend or foe may apply +1 to casting roll of this unit. So basically what he's going to do is have the Sorcerer Lord with the Skull of Catan in the middle of a unit, and then have all of the wizards beside that guy.
Yeah.
So that 27 unit of warriors is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the unit. So it's going to be a wide front, because that has to be 12 men wide to allow those guys to even be in the front rank.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a wild build.
And then +1 toughness on those Marauders.
Yeah, +1 toughness on the Marauders to get them in. And to keep them on the objectives, I think, is really what they're going to be trying to do.
It's a solid list.
It's a bit of a Death Star. Like, pretty much all of his points are in one unit.
Oh, like, once those Chaos Warriors go down.
Stupidity gun goes off. That just turns off the whole unit.
This is a prime example of, I'm going to fire 6 cannons this turn. And then my lantern, and it's all into those warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a doom stack. I love a doom stack. I'm a big fan of it. But I do worry that that's a lot of points to be putting all in one place. And if something silly happens, like, the stupidity gun, and they fail it, it's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be pretty bad.
Well, I mean, if it goes off, it's going to be absolutely horrendous.
Utter fucking memes. Like, I will get my opponent a pint if that happens to him, because I will feel so bad for him straight away. I think it's a class army.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see Warriors of Chaos in such a diverse manner. That's a real change to the Monster Mash list that we've got coming.
And then finally, we've got more Orcs and Goblins. Again, pretty much what we've seen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Similar. Got a couple of mangled squigs now.
A couple of big bosses, odd gets, odd knobs. There's a war boss on Wyvern there. Another war boss on Wyvern. 2
Wyvern. Yeah. And then obviously you got a nice block of Black Orcs to keep everything in line. Must be.
It must be.
I think pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, they are extremely common. Look at that. Oh, that's so good for a 5-up regen save. +1 armor and 5-up regen with troll armor. And you can wear them with extra armor. Like, they are so good.
Yeah. Orcs and Goblins are really good.
They are. I'm a big fan of Orcs and Goblins.
I mean, like this one, he's got the armor of Meteoric Guys. He's always going to have a 5-up save.
Yep, and a 5-up ward.
And a 5-up ward, and then he's got regen.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then he's on a Wyvern as well. It's class. I love that.
And Charm Shield as well. So the second Charm Shield to do his ward if needed.
Yeah, lovely. But yeah, it's a really cool list. But yeah, that's Italy. That is Italy.
Again, like I think the European nations are taking some really cool lists because their meta is so different to what we're used to.
Yeah.
So, like, I suppose in a way, Ireland is in a bit of a bubble. Like, we play into our own local meta, which is very isolate, which means that all sorts of weird shit goes through our heads, like monster mashes being good still. I'm so upset to find out that the stomp banner works on all flanks because they make a point that all the dwarf rune banners are always in the front. You have to hit the fronts to make them work. The fact that for 25 points they just can stop stomp, which I also hate. I hate stomp so much. Oh god.
Well, I don't have them. My dragons don't have stomp, so
your dragons don't have stomp. This is
we're not real dragons. We have impact hits instead. But yeah, I think there's some pretty cool lists. There's a lot of cool things I'm looking forward to seeing. I think it's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah, there's loads of cool stuff that can happen there. Like the weekend is going to be class. It's going to be such a fun weekend. Super excited to see the guys again. Looking forward to having a few drinks and having a bit of dice rolling. I'd want us to get a good result out of it. We went over and we were a little unlucky at home nations last year. We had a couple of players had some personal issues kick up during the games that we took out of them. We had some just bad dice. There was a bit of just bad luck. Like I know our high elf player going into Ollie with his beastman last year just couldn't. Or sorry, actually, it wasn't high elf. No, was it high elf? Was dark? It was a high elf player. Yeah, went into Ollie and he had his big block of infantry get in against Ollie, loads of attacks to go, and he basically whiffed them all. Yeah. It's just such a sad moment. It's like that was the break of the game. You probably could have won it. Who did that happened? So I'm optimistic we'll have a good showing this year. At the end of the day, I just want to have 5 really fun games. Get to meet a couple of guys from Italy and France because we didn't get to meet them at Home Nations last year, and we didn't get to do Worlds last year. So fingers crossed that we'll have a good time and just get to enjoy it.
What's my birthday that weekend?
It's mine on the Monday, so when I get back hungover, it'll be my birthday. I probably won't even notice it has been.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Birthday
so it should be fun. Oh yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it, and it's my first Six Nations.
Is there any lists there that you are really excited to play, like that you think would be a really fun game for you specifically? Like it doesn't have to be something that you think you're going to smash, but something that you just love to play into.
I mean, I'd love to have a crack at Dave's Goblin list because I think it would be absolutely hilarious.
I think you'd enjoy that as much as Aaron enjoyed going into his Nuln list last year. He was so confident going in and just had a terrible time.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there are some really. I mean, obviously, this is not a singles event, so the lists are really heavily skewed into one area.
They are.
But yeah, there are some really cool looking lists I'd love to face off against.
Yeah, there's definitely some really cool ones. I like. We were just talking about that chaos list. I would just love to see how he runs that Death Star. I think it's gonna be really fun.
I would love to have a crack at that actually.
Yeah, the Cathay list with the detachments for the Jade Warriors. I'm super interested to see how that works. Like, what's the thinking behind it? Because I think it's a really interesting build.
I think this is just what's really kind of cool. I mean, I think over on the mainland, they're obviously because England, Scotland, and Wales are all connected. They all go to the same events together. I think the meta and the general thinking around the list is very sort of intertwined. They all kind of have roughly the same thinking.
Well, they all play different comp as well, which is important to remember. Like Italian have the Italian Federation comp and Italian Federation comp, which affects how they build lists. Yeah. And that's quite important, like when going into tournament scenes, because I know they don't allow for the rule of 3 is standard in Italy. You are not allowed to have more than X amount per army. Yeah. So like the Slayer list doesn't work in Italy. Like it just doesn't function because you need to be able to take 12 Doomseekers. If you can't do that, the list doesn't work. So it is interesting that, because of the local culture in play, the lists are going to be tweaked slightly different. Like it might be something that we just see way more magic spam because magic spam is the only thing that isn't aggressively comped across all the different spaces, Yeah.
We need to build an Irish comp.
Oh God, I'm not even sure. Like I sit in the space of, I actually don't particularly like comp. I understand the need for it. Because you don't want people to just be rolling through tournaments with something that's broken all the time. That's not good for the scene. It doesn't help players learn. It doesn't help the game grow. So you do need to comp some stuff to make the game playable in a fun manner that everyone gets to enjoy a game to some degree. Whether that be that they aren't just getting shot off the table turn 2 by 7 balloons, or that they're, getting to take enough of their unit types to play. Because I know at Home Nations, one of the comps that really hurt us, and that's because of the WTC comp, was we had an Orcs Goblin player who wanted to take Nomadic Wa. To do that, he needs 5 chariots. The comp was on mounts. You can only take 3 of the same mount, which meant he couldn't take the Black Orc chariots in the way that he needed to actually make the list legal. So the list wasn't even able to be legal because of that. And that kind of crippled what he wanted to do. And that's a shame. That shouldn't happen with comp.
Yeah. I think what was good with our local sort of meta is we self-comped Cathay.
We did, very aggressively.
Like as a Cathay player, I would actively only take 2 balloons, 1 character balloon. The ogre loaders were getting removed with the cannons because that seems the right way to do it, and we weren't stacking the thunderous impact debuffs, which again,
that all made sense.
The right way to do it, but I just it was kind of good because no one was really running the stupid, like horrible heavy lists.
And I think the big problem, the biggest reason I would be concerned about the comp coming through and like overcomp is when the list has been designed with aggressive power creep by Games Workshop, and it's very clear the power creep is not intended correctly. Yeah. That's where you kind of have to take a bit of a step back and say, okay, but in a year, is this going to be allowed?
Yeah.
Because in a year, if it's not, then are you going to buy all of those expensive models just to win short-term tournaments?
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
You could be like the guy that went to that event in London with the 5 balloons and come last.
Yeah. Well, you can have all the balloons you like. It also comes down to learning how to play the game.
Exactly. So,
and no shade on anyone, but I've seen people play vampire accounts with the meta build list, and they just haven't figured out how to maneuver it in such a way that it plays. So there is issues with, you need to know how the army works as much as being good at playing. I think Patch did his thing there recently, talking about the 40-40-20, which is 40% is your list, 40% is you knowing the game, and 20% is dice. Yeah, I would say that's probably pretty accurate.
I think there was a good example in the Age of Sigmar community here where 2 of the very good players in the area, they were sort of in the team, the AOS team, and they both took the exact same Lumineth Realm Lords lists to an event over in Scotland. One of the guys runs Lumineth Realm Lords all the time.
This was Archie, was it? Or?
Yeah, it was Archie. Yeah, got a 4-1, and because he plays Lumineth, he knows Lumineth inside out. One of the other guys took the exact same list and got a 1-4.
Yeah.
So I think there is an element of player skill in you can't just chase the meta.
Absolutely. And AOS is definitely a little bit more of a dice. I would say it's more 33 in AOS because the double turn, when it happens, spiking, at least in the older versions where you didn't get the negative. So now in AOS, I think if you are double turning someone, you don't score that turn. You can't score kind of the turn you do it.
It makes it
a wee bit.
Yeah, it makes it kind of a little bit of a decision if you're actually going to go for it or not. But
like I took a double turn build to Bobo in 2019, which was the double frigates and then 60 Arcanauts, all with skyhooks.
Yeah,
and the list was really simple. If I get 2 turns in a row, I lift you off the table. I didn't get a double turn until my 4th game. And I was dropped first, so I was 1 drop army down, and I was waiting to roll the double turn. Didn't get it to my 4th game. So and then because I didn't get it, the army doesn't function without it. It just got lifted so quickly. I had a couple of games that got tight because of cheeky play and being clever with how I was positioning my guys, but I was relying on something that I was hoping I could just get it early and win things out. Couldn't get it. Couldn't manage it. So absolutely. I do think dice affect it, but player skill is much more important.
Definitely. I think we're quite good over here, though, and hopefully we can slowly build the community here in the island and get that.
Our biggest limitation is we have a mixed bag community that, when the game first came out, was all really positive and very excited, and they went into the tournament scene and faced nothing but 560-point dragons for a year straight. And this is at a time when infantry just couldn't deal with it. So unless you had a dragon, then you just couldn't deal with them. It was a very counterplay scene for a short while. And it was no one's specific fault. It just was the way the game was when it first launched. And I think that drove a lot of people away. And that was quite a shame. I know there's a community down in Cork.
Yeah.
We've tried to connect with them in some parts in the past, but they're super insular. It's quite hard to get in touch with them. I'm going to try to get out to a tournament down there sometime.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with even in the north. There are so many little communities.
Way more common than in Age of Sigmar. In Age of Sigmar, because it grew so progressively over time, the community kind of all came together early on and clumped.
Yeah.
Whereas in Old World, these are old gaming groups that have been playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles maybe 10 years ago and have got back into it with their local gaming groups and are still playing together in their little groups, having their own little metas. Absolutely a thing. Yeah, who knows? I would like the community to grow as well. Like, I think you're dead right that there needs to be some more work to grow the community out. I think, like, where I'm playing out in Sligo, I'm in the northwest of Ireland. So we're very limited in our player base. Population density is very low here. Distances between players is very high. Like, it could be 40 minutes for a player to come and play a game with me, or another 30 for me to go somewhere else. Or if I want to go like to Broadsword Wargaming to get a game in Castlebar, that's a 45-minute drive for me. You know. Yeah. So it's not super feasible for me most of the time. Like, I'll usually play on Warhol, play online. But now we're running a local slow grow campaign out here to try and get more people into it and get them going. And I think that's really one of the best ways to do it. Slow grows, bit of narrative, bit of fun, and then build into. So you've played a game a couple times, you've seen how it functions. Now start building a harder edge on your army. Like, maybe say the great swords in your Empire list aren't the best call. Swap them for more just Empire troops, veteran troops. You know, there's things you can do to kind of lean the players into more, competitive games, which I fully stand that competitive gaming is a really fun community thing to do. And I love a narrative game here and there. Happily do a bit of Battle March, Battle Pass, whatever. It's good crack. But when it comes to playing a game at a high level, the challenge of playing into a list, understanding how it functions, and knowing what you can do to play it is really important. And I find it really fun. Yeah,
definitely. Well, we can just keep building. I'll keep using the channel as best as I can to plug the community, and then we can get it up.
Absolutely. But I think the Rank and Flank guys did a great thing when they were knocking around. They built out a map of all of the gaming community stuff going on the island at the time. I'd say that could be a really good start point. Just if people are looking to find out where they can play locally, having a heat map of players would be great.
I'm going to be having a word with the two big stores here locally about getting club details put up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for likes of Exploding Dice, where a lot of the events are held, and over at Lisbon. So we can hopefully start pulling the players in the north.
Start to congeal.
and start getting, because it's just about I mean, the amount of times I've been sat there playing a game and someone's come in for the first time and they're like, I didn't even realize there was this was even here. Yeah. And it's like, what? And they're like, oh my God, you're playing the old world, you're playing Fantasy Battle. Like, when did, it's like, guys, dude, it's been around for a while now. Like, where have you been?
23 months now. 24, actually. I think it's just 24 now, yeah.
It's nuts, but we'll keep building, we'll keep plugging, and then we'll slowly get up. Because it's, when you look at like the old world rankings and you look at the size of our players, I think it's like 19 on there now.
Oh, they're missing
and
loads.
It's like, wow, we're so small.
I'm not on the rankings at all this year because they just didn't catch my data somehow or other. Like, there's loads of people just missing from those rankings currently. Now, we'll all get added as more tournaments happen. That's kind of the plan of this thing, which is good. But yeah, it's definitely, it's quite a small population base. Yeah, I would say in the competitive scene, we're probably 30 players, like 30 concurrent, going to return to keep playing competitive players currently. After that, then it easily is up to 60 or 80 players just playing the game, either competitively or in small clubs. Beyond that, I wouldn't think that we have more than 250 old world players on the island. I just don't think we have the population density to have more than that.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to convince the kids to stop playing 40k. Play proper
That's
game.
it. Yeah. Put down your bolters. It's time to play old world.
Bow.
Everyone knows square bases are the real way to play a game.
Meeting up Shabdi. It's better shooting. But yeah. But anyway, thank you for
toughness 12.
But thank you for joining me, mate. It was
pleasure.
it was good getting someone that knows the rules way better than me.
Well, I think I know the rules, and then I'll get caught out on something like terrain causing me to not get to give ground. Oh, that made me so sad last year. Anyways, pleasure. We will definitely catch up again soon.
It's going to be great. So
it is. It's going to be banging fun.
I will be recording with Pash tomorrow.
Very nice.
So we're going to be. So if you are new to the competitive side, Pash is the guy that's going to be able to explain how that works because he is King Pash.
King Pash, double crowned currently.
Yeah, and best Cathay player in the country. So it's going to be. So currently, it's going to be a really good video. So you got the number one Cathay player in the UK, and then the number one Cathay player in Ireland.
In Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK.
Ireland,
so,
all of the islands.
Yeah,
I'll take it while it lasts because it's not going to be there by the end of the year. But yeah, it's going to be good. So I'm going to have it. That'll be done up. So hopefully that'll be up tomorrow or Thursday, and then I will try to do. I keep trying to get more of the lads on, and then we'll hopefully try. If not, I'll try to be doing another final video before we head off to Scotland.
Do your travel vlog as well. Yeah,
I'll be fully recording that, and then that'll
GoPro strapped to your head.
Yeah, just like there.
Perfect.
And then we'll do the video probably the Monday when we get home. So should be good. Really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to have a couple of pints with the lads.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you there anyway, because we have a few pints in 2 weeks, and definitely we'll catch up again before that. I think we should try and get one more game in and see what we can do around the old the Shug Smash into the X-Force.
Yes. You know what? We'll just do that if you want. I'll just take 5 Shugs.
Oh, I was thinking more so for you just to see what you can do against X-Force, but we'll play it.
I know how that's going to play out. You'll hide in a building again.
That's what we do. Trench up, baby. We're playing World War I while everyone's back in the Middle Ages.
Cavalry charge with dragons.
Oh, no.
Right. But anyway, everyone in chat, thank you very much for joining, and we will keep you updated and have a chat when we get back after Six Nations. And it's going to be an absolute blast. So cheers. All descriptions and comment, share, all that stuff. You know the YouTube drill by now. And if you've been here for the last 2.5 hours, thank you. And I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.